It's all about the timing, and Loud knows that well. They move on in. They've already taken advantage with the initial knock. Takuri has got the quad in hand. Rate of fire up close and personal is going to be deadly. But if Loud continues to close down the distance, those M590s are going to be popping some heads for sure. Trap once again. Thrill of battle locked in. And you cannot use your active skills to take them on. But that knock buys them a little bit of extra time. What can Mavxx do? It's a 1v3. He's got a sniper in hand. M590s loaded up on the side of Loud. It's a 3v1 easy play here. As Mavxx jumps on back. Loud says absolutely not. They take away the first win. And Brazil showing that they are going to be making a lot of noise here on the stage.
They're loud, they're dominant, and they know exactly what they're doing. Knowing exactly when to attack and when to go for those tactical retreats. They built a massive wall for safety and kept the distance from them and the other teams. Amazing work.
Loud 6th at the Esports World Cup 2024, but technically as Team Solid. A majority of the Team Solid players on Loud right now, and they are here to run circles around these teams. Again, Tash, I mentioned during the game, it's not about how many eliminations you get. It's all about strategizing your way towards that final circle, surviving long enough, and taking advantage of the right situations. And that was executed perfectly by this Brazilian squad.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see them as well. They weren't too flashy super early. When we saw toward that mid-game, they made so much noise. They started to get really active. They started to really move around that map. And they're tactical on which fights they wanted to take and which fights they decided to just leave alone.
And I have to say, it's Trap that was the mastermind of that battle, constantly pulling the timing perfectly for the side of Loud. If it wasn't for them, I think Buriram would have had an easier rotation in that final circle to avoid the battle. But the thrill of battle, and again, even in the final battle up against these players from the side of DRS, it was the thrill of battle that made the biggest of difference. And this guy is not just the support player who activates the thrill of battle from the back and then allows the rest of his team members to get the job done. He hops on into the fight as well with the M590. Phenomenal mechanical skills, phenomenal timing. Everything went well here for Loud, but I have to say that was a really messy lobby, because again, that's exactly what we expect here. Day one, game one, you barely know where your opponents are going to be dropping. I mean, you can go in and do a little bit of research, but it's really a toss of a coin at the end of the day. And I think Loud handled the situations out there really fine.
Yeah, and I think what's really exciting as well for me personally, I thought that today we're going to be seeing the rise of the underdogs, right? The more quieter teams that never really made that big splash quite yet, because that's usually how day one goes, because everyone's a little bit more cautious. Regardless, after this, we'll be seeing more of the Free Fire at EWC, so do not go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by Play. Play is in our DNA.
Hello guys, welcome to EWC 2026 Paris. I'm Conchita, and right next to me is Wasana from Buriram United Esports. We're gonna have a bit of a chit chat. Of course, we have Kate here to help translate us as well. Okay, Wasana, welcome back to EWC 2026. It's so great to have you back. How does it feel to be back, and how is the preparation leading up to the World Cup?
ก็ก่อนอื่นเลยนะครับขอยินดีต้อนรับน้องวัฒนาแล้วก็ทีมบุรีรัมย์นะครับเข้าสู่การแข่งขัน EWC 2026 ณ กรุงปารีสนะฮะอยากสอบถามว่ารู้สึกยังไงบ้างที่ได้กลับมาเล่นในรายการนี้แล้วก็พร้อมขนาดไหนฮะ
ก็รู้สึกดีใจมากครับที่ได้มาเล่นในรายการนี้ก็เป็นหนึ่งในรายการที่พวกผมอยากคว้าแชมป์ไม่ได้ครับแล้วก็การเตรียมตัวพวกผมก็เตรียมตัวมาพร้อมครับเต็มที่เลย 100% ครับ
Yep, I'm very happy and excited to be back on EWC stage, and we are so ready. Our preparation is like so. Can't wait to be back on the stage.
Ooh, okay. So speaking of preparation, we all know that the other teams are also going for the title, obviously. This is the one title that Buriram United really wanted to have. What do you think is the biggest obstacle that you're going to have to face on the stage this year?
ก็เมื่อกี้เราพูดถึงว่าเราเตรียมตัวมาอย่างดีเลยใช่ไหมฮะอยากสอบถามว่าทุกทีมเขาก็เตรียมตัวมาพร้อมมากที่จะได้ขึ้น
Let's do it. Get nice. डिस्प्ले सेट कर दो बस 2 मिनट तो डिस्प्ले कैसे सेट करते हैं देख रहा हूँ 2 मिनट हाँ I'm back.
Of zone control
Yeah.
when they find an area. They're not quick to give it away either,
Yes.
and they're not quick to
Currently,
just
we are
go and go
supporting
ahead and go for
TAD,
this fight.
guys.
I'm seeing a lot of respect they're giving to other teams to make sure that in terms of survivability, they can survive all the way to the
We will
later
support
stages
TAD
of the map.
today.
I feel like, in this game, what sounds easy is absolutely difficult to execute out there on the battlefield. We talk about how important the mechanical skills are. We talk about how important the decision making and the timing is going to be for a lot of the squads out here. But DRS pulled off these things absolutely perfect in this first game, right? You look at the mechanical skills, they were handling some of those gunfights like pros. Their timing were absolutely perfect. They have great numbers behind them. And it's a bit of a shocker for me because we definitely saw their performance at the Free Fire Max Asia Invitational. And they didn't really give us a lot to talk about, right? They had some good games, but fairly inconsistent with their run. But a game this explosive up against a lineup of squads that's, global
Superstars.
level, yeah, superstars, multiple-time world champions, it's insane.
Yeah.
And you got to respect that out of Nepal. Now, the big question is, of course, going to be whether or not we're going to see the consistent plays out of them.
Yeah, and I think what's really, important to think about not only is just consistency. I'm a big believer that you gotta fail in order to do well.
Yeah.
And I think that now that you mentioned the DRS didn't really have a good run, maybe they learned a lot from it. Maybe they
For
picked
sure, yeah.
up the weaknesses and made it way better for here. But again, this is after all the first map. It's still, I think, a huge check for many of these teams.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure out where the
trophy,
drops are,
guys.
how each team plays, how the rotations are gonna go.
Yeah, and also if you look at it from a standpoint of how much of pressure these squads are under,
ये trophy है
the bigger your
Aurora
name is,
Gaming.
the more your achievements, the
See,
bigger the pressure is going to
Aurora.
be because
Yes.
everybody expects you to perform. And
माफ
if
कर
you're
देना
a team
अगर
like
कुछ
the
गलत
Real
बोल रहा हूँ
Soldiers, DRS, the expectations are fairly low. They have got nothing to lose, right?
Exactly.
It's the first time they're here on the global stage. It's one of the regions that we have brought in to play on a stage like this, and they are shining right now. They have to make sure they don't allow their nerves to catch up with them. It's going to be rough if they do. But
This
if they
is my
continue
first
on with
watch
this
party.
momentum, I think it's going to be a solid run for DRS. They might just be the underdogs that we have been looking out for all of these years. But again, consistency on a stage like this is very difficult to hold on to. We have even seen teams like Fluxo kind of flunk out. So what more DRS, right? But if they do manage to pull it off, it will definitely be a legendary run.
Yeah, I was about to say that as well. You know, coming in, we've seen so many legendary teams just really, you know, find their way almost to the finishing line and then just completely lose their cool. And the thing is, when you have nothing to lose, when you are on a big stage where you're just saying, hey, let's just come in here, have a great time without having to bow down to the pressure from the bigger teams, you can make your name in history. And at Esports World Cup, everything is earned.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The Apex Gaming earlier, the team from India, got knocked out with no placement points whatsoever. Only 2 eliminations to their name. And I feel like this is one of those teams that you can expect to see perform a little bit better here on Solara. As we hop on in, these light rails are going to be attracting many teams to your compound. I think the third-party situation in Solara has always been extremely exciting to watch. And it looks like Gun Dynasty is looking for a big fight again with the early clash up against the Malaysians. Aurora Gaming, Eco Train, battle up against Gun Dynasty. It's going to be a rough one.
Yeah, and it's always going to be super exciting when you go for these early fights. The rest of the map, though, fairly safe other than Delta Isle. Delta Isle right now also is, I think, very, very hectic. Now, in this situation there, I am wanting to see how GD is going to be handling this. As we're rushing forward
GD
already, barely alive, as Astra already had turned on that time turner.
Yeah, this is a 50-50 early hot drop. Aurora does have a chance in here if they can manage to flank around and play their strategy well. Trogon in the hands of Jun. Axel, AUG in hand. The sniper of the squad does not have his preferred gun. Jun for the backup. Axel nails him down with a headshot off of the AUG. And it's a great start here for the Malaysian squad. Maybe this is that perfect comeback, that perfect revenge early on. GD snuffed them out, kicking them out of the lobby a tad bit too earlier. Benel, again, the super savior of the squad, will hit that double revive, making sure even if Gun Dynasty falls early here up against Aurora, they will stay in the lobby. But the White Tigers, they smell blood and they want the point.
Yeah, they're coming in as a third party here as well. Gives a bit of space for Aurora to go for that reposition. It's a bit quiet right now. They don't want to do anything. They can see Aurora leaving away from the area. GD, you got to deal with the White Tigers right now.
Mavxx. The Kimbo Vector in hand. Rate of fire is there. The damage, questionable for sure. Spots one out. It's the cord. And it looks like he's going to be gagging himself in. Beautiful, valiant dash. Aim God hopping on in with that backup. And they definitely had the advantage on their side with the numbers. And on the other side, AGAL up against TEC. It looks like AGL just weren't having a good run up against them.
No, it's just so unlucky to meet them. I just want to say I'm liking this proactivity coming in from EVOS. They heard sounds coming through. They go in and just force that third-party fight. But in this situation, I was surprised it didn't go 3 ways. Aurora, this time around, they got knocked a bit too early just now. They want to make up for just now.
Benel versus Aim God. It's a 1v1. Fair fight. Aim God spots Simfest. Shot finds no connection. Benel looking for the quick reposition. But the rest of the EVOS squad, they've entered the compound already, but Nell's in a tad bit of trouble, to say the least. Wolven backing away. Team Apex Gaming, can they take the fight up against the 2024 Esports World Cup champions and walk away with the victory here? There is a vending machine in play, and you can see the Apex player already camping away at it in case they need to pull in. A quick revival. Raja on the hunt. Sahil Jad has been spotted out already. Wolven sticking his head out. That is a bait on fire. Flanking around from the right-hand side. Max 7, his own blue ball keeps him in a way. And Wolven with a timely time turner to keep himself in the run.
Oh man, and here comes the firepower from the Falcons, knocking a majority of the DAG players down here. 2 eliminations already done and out here, and now they go for more. DAG is stuck in a corner. 3 players crunching him all alone. The way from On Fire is here. A 2v1 swing out means that he cannot survive.
Man, KD God, I don't know where he is, but he was in a fantastic spot to punish the players on the side of Falcons. Managed to get a double knock, but the recovery from your 2024 EWC champions, absolutely swift. But KD God in trouble now. Team Apex Gaming, they've already hit the revive. And they're holding on. Riptide rhythm from KD God just to put a little bit of extra pressure on them. The nade is in his hands. Pina on the chase. KD God will stay safe still. And now he has an advantage as he hops off of the slide rails, takes another shot straight to the back. And Pina with the mini Uzi looking to see if or not he can take him out of the equation. Vending machine right beside, it's a 1v1. Katie God has the better gun in this situation, but Pina absolutely sneaky, just hopping on from the back of the glue wall, taking the shots, quickly hiding away. And from having a disadvantage with the gun, Pina turns things around.
Oh my gosh, that was a hot chase from the other side of the map all the way till here. Movement was insane coming from this guy.
Oh yeah. Gotta respect Falcons this time, hungry for those points. They obviously wanted a better run in the earlier game, did not find it for themselves. Got kicked out of the lobby with just 10 points on their side. Very aggressive game one for Falcons. 7 eliminations, but only 3 placement points. You just have to make sure the same mistake is not made here on Solara. But so far, so good. You see the coins on their side, absolutely stacked up. And TEC, one of the favorites from Bangladesh, alive and kicking with a ton of elimination points already on their side in this Solara game.
Oh man, Barros putting a damage on this one. Takes a lot of damage, almost getting knocked down here, but moves around the area, cannot survive, and knocked out as well.
Yeah, Barros, great play on that 1v1. Thrill of Battle popped in a timely manner, locking him down, and a swift elimination right after. AGL on the prowl, looking for some extra points, but Cypher's gonna get caught out here. Jazzy Aswad and the smooth criminal Cypher quickly getting away. Barros looking for the backup and the bait and switch. Barros now holding back. Jazzy taken out of the equation. Barros, you monster!
That was the biggest nope I've ever seen in my life, and Cypher is the one to turn things around there. Aswap down and out. Gonna try and see where exactly can go in this situation. Coming in terms of rotations here, a lot of players already inside of the zone. Mid-side area, I'm really curious. I'm seeing AJL and Loud there.
AGL, again, this is their 3rd EWC. Just like Buriram, perhaps 3rd time's the charm. David 444 taken out early here. This is one of the prime players out of Gun Dynasty, and Buriram hunting them down one after the other. You messed around with us in the previous game. We could not get to the Booyah, and this time we will take you out of the lobby early, Buriram says. But can we see a recovery again? Benel, the super savior of Gun Dynasty, keeping them in the race.
Honestly, getting the pickup right as the glue wall goes down is just diabolical. Now, the zone has shifted a little bit more here, and in this situation, most players are already coming back into the game.
Man, but now, what in the world? This guy...
He has most revivals.
Yeah, he's definitely got the most revivals so far. And it is absolutely brilliant to see him pull off these amazing saves in such an insane lobby on a stage like this. I wonder how is he managing to get things done, and how is he having so many coins on his side? We got to check that out later. He was divine though. 3 eliminations. Aggressive start this time around, but they want more. DRS up against Falcons. They had a phenomenal run in game 1. And Falcons are trying to deny them of that in this game 2. Pina down already. Strowex, fantastic shot. He eliminates Pina from the equation, but no glue wall, but the time turner on his side allows him a quick recovery. K98 in hand. Anybody that takes the slide rails up against Alu might be in a tad bit of trouble, but Falcons not going to make that mistake just yet.
Look at the due diligence here, dotting their I, crossing their T's as well. And I think DRS is doing, I think, fairly wise to just really back away from this fight.
Yeah.
Now, for Falcons, they brought back Pina into the game. That's more firepower once again on their side here. The southern side here, DP and AGL looks very interesting right now.
Falcons understanding that Alu would probably pop their heads if they took the slide rail, trying to just cut the distance down with the vehicles. On the other side, Demon's Pride, top 16, tagged up already. That Moko giving away his position, and it's too easy for Dew to go in for the follow-up. Super Sniper turned Russia in the situation, connected with the electrotherapy. This is the result of too many Clash squads.
And in this situation as well, I think everyone is just sort of like kind of moving away on that western side here, just trying to find a way into the zone, making sure that they don't get sniped out as they take that slide rails. We saw so many of that happening way too soon. Well, it is fun for us viewers to see it, but for them, it's probably a very, I would say, high-stakes, heart-attack situation.
The Clash Masters competitions have forced the snipers to play a closer range battle, which means more shotguns, more SMGs. And it is having its results shown beautifully on the Battle Royale scene. And that's just going to be making these snipers so much more deadlier. Long range, short range. They're now becoming all-rounders. But this next circle, though, looking deadly. Falcon scanning out the area of Team Apex. Sahil Jad gets caught in the binocular scan. Pina Racha not waiting. They sustain some shots, but they're going straight in for the elimination. And a four-man scan here, potentially by the White Tigers. EVOS Divine and a double scan. Probably Aurora as well as Loud. EVOS in trouble, as two teams have got the information on them. Team Apex Gaming, on the other hand, already scanned out by the Falcon squad earlier on, but Falcons are the ones who are in a tad bit more trouble.
Ooh, nice shot.
Sahil Jad looking for the revival, pulls Shoto back into the race, but he sacrifices himself in the same run.
I mean, what can you do? Just really survive longer here.
That's it. Katie God in trouble. Out of the pan, into the fire. Running straight. Oh, EVOS Divine does not spot him out.
They don't know.
This could just be that survival play, but Tech is right behind him, so this is going to be a tad bit difficult. Oh, no, Thriller battle. GG, bro. I don't know if all of that was super intentional, but KD God now clipped on by the Thriller battle, has got no way to use his active skill. But EVOS Divine not making the mistake of looking for one extra point and potentially sacrificing two of their players. They know the players of TEC is right there beside them. So moving to find an extra point might put them in a little bit of trouble, and the veteran experience of EVOS Divine keeping them alive and kicking, but the Rail Soldiers hopping on in as well. This is about to become a rough three-way battle.
Yeah, coming through here as well, because KD got finally knocked down as well. As TEC, their compound is being taken away. DRS gonna trust really hunker down here in this situation, maybe wait out those fights, or hoping for an opening to either go in for the fight or just go for a tactical retreat.
Yeah, playing on the meta, the AWM, the VSKs, they've got the long-range weapons perfect for Solara, and I will not doubt those M590s are on standby for the pop as well. Great rotation by EVOS Divine, avoiding the initial engagement with DRS, and just taking the position right below the players of Titan Esports Club. This means Bangladesh is going to have a rough time to get out of their spot, but thankfully the circle's still with them. The next zone is going to be crucial to see which teams get caught out here on the rotation. There is a high chance it moves towards the conglomeration of the three squads here. EVOS Divine, TEC, as well as DRS.
DRS, you're being very, very patient, but the problem is right now you go toward EVOS, there's a potential of getting knocked out by TEC from that top side of the building as well.
Yeah.
And I think that this is a situation where you just have to wait out things.
Nice play, and now it's just all-out annihilation. Messy, as multiple teams are so close to each other. Gun Dynasty does not manage the ambush, but Demon's Pride are swapped too low. And the final bullet by Mega takes him out of the equation. David's picked right back up, and again, Gun Dynasty's gonna be a bit of a troublemaker in the final circle.
Now the wait happens here, as we already see that for Aurora surviving a little bit longer this time, and they want to go for this fight against GD. In front of them, they already got it at one pickoff here. Aurora doing very well, fighting the players of GD, but they still have 3 more members to worry about on the other side.
Yeah, to snuff out Gun Dynasty, you gotta take Benel out of the equation, because that man is a miracle worker for this revive. Somehow, he always brings the rest of the team members back in, but without him, they're gonna crumble one after the other. Vega taken out of the equation as well, and it looks like Gun Dynasty, that's the end for them. Aurora and Loud, this is gonna be a rough rotation for them, as everybody else has hopped on in, as anticipated earlier on. The next circle finds EVOS, TEC, as well as DRS, but now they've got one extra contender. AGAL have found safe haven here in the next circle already. Teams like Falcons, Loud, Buriram, Aurora, they're gonna have to battle it out before stepping into the next zone.
And it is annoying and a very rough area here to the side here. Guangsak does fight one, and here comes the nades as well. The reposition is good. Trap doing huge damage onto the members of Buriram United.
One more, baby. And that's just gonna keep them at bay. Get high Excel, looking for the pickup onto Asana, but now outside the zone. He has the electrotherapy though, and that keeps his buddy alive and kicking.
No way.
AGAL, on the other hand, annihilate DRS Gaming. Finally, DRS had stayed in there for long enough. They were keeping an eye on EVOS. And AGAL, with the backstab, took advantage of that situation. Wasana's going to get snuffed out as well. And it looks like Buriram, again, not going to have a fantastic run at the start of our Esports World Cup. Third run, Team Falcons out. The Thai squad dropping like flies, one after the other. But AGAL looking to represent the nation absolutely strong as they look for a big battle up against Loud potentially right after this.
Yeah, Team Wipeout already as well for Aurora. They're already been eliminated here. As for the White Tigers, trying to find a way to move away from this area. TEC is being so annoying, pressuring them from that top side, not able to move. And they have made a nice mountain to climb over and take this fight face to face.
Yes, that way to heaven. But who goes to heaven? Is it going to be you guys or TEC right above? And smart play by EVOS here. They don't quickly rush on up. They understand that AGAL is holding on to a prime position right behind them. And they do have the advantage with the move of the circle. AGL will have to keep an eye on Loud. And TEC, they don't need to do much with that high ground. They just need to play fishing here. They do have a prime spot and a big advantage in terms of how that circle is now going to move.
AGL looking really good just now. They move there. And Russia, big opening to do is going to put a spanner in the works for AGAL. EVOS forced out here, takes the fight to Loud.
Shooting the feed. Russia, sneaky play, has got the stealth bites of the Morse as well. But this is going to be a rough one for Russia if he cannot quickly catch up with the rest of his team members. And great placements of glue walls with the extra assistance of the stealth bites. EVOS are the first ones to make that move. TEC is going to be holding back. And Loud in a lot of trouble up against EVOS as well as TEC. But they've got the double vehicles on their side for the quick reposition. And now this is where Russia can be troublesome as he quickly shoots at those vehicles, lighting them up.
Yeah, that's the repositioning going to be taken away from them. And now Loud is stuck in a corner. What a shot coming in from Russia. Traded out though by Guaxa. But Ray, nice damage onto Saifa as well, taking two fights at the same time.
Oh, AGAL and Ray with the God nades hitting a triple, saving AGAL for the time being. TEC were doing a number on them, but EVOS Divine just ruining the party of Bangladesh right there and then. Ray with the final nade onto Kutush. The pickups was solid, and now the battle between EVOS and Loud. They take the fight straight up. They understand that they are going to be a problem. Ain't gone to the M590. Valiant Dash already used up, and he finds BZP from around the glue wall, looking for another. Annihilates BZP first, and EVOS Divine looking strong for the booyah.
He's looking so good right now. Have 15 eliminations already. Guaxa, I think, already knocked out of the game. Loud with only one member still alive. What are you going to do here as AGL? Nameless still managing to steal away one more Elim. Titan Esports Club now down for the count. As EVOS, they know exactly where Nameless is. Where are you going to go? What are you going to do here? A triple man push, but there's still one more player Cloud to worry about.
Amazing run from Titan Esports Club. But Ain't God now looking to clean up house. Nameless found, Thriller battle pop. Nameless has no chance, and they all gang up upon him. Playing the game of numbers, looking for the final Loud player out there. No back-to-back booyah for Brazil. EVOS Divine, the reigning defending champions, will say. And the Wonder Kid Russia does it again with a final elimination.
Russia putting in the damage and pressure to every single one of these teams. EVOS have been so proactive with these early fights, maintaining the aggression all the way till that last final fight.
Oh, this is what you want to see from your reigning defending champs, not taking it lying down, but rising up to the occasion and showing everyone, not just rotations, but mechanically they're still sound. And yes, questions have been asked. What is going to happen to EVOS? Because after winning the Esports World Cup last year, they have been dormant. They have just been hibernating. They have not been a massive threat in any of the competitions that they hopped on into. But this is not that same EVOS Divine. They are rising up to the occasion, and they want to prove that the White Tigers are not here to play. They are here to annihilate. Look at these nades, man. I mean, they were a flurry that instantly snuffed out the chances of Titan Esports Club.
You know what's really interesting? In so many interviews, they said, what is our secret weapon? It was Russia, Russia, Russia. And he did. We saw that pressure coming in from him. But Ray as well is putting in and showing us why exactly he's also part of the team.
You know, a big problem that I had with the EVOS Divine run in 2025 5 is that without Russia, I think they would have lost out in many of those lobbies. Just like what Benel is doing for the side of the players of Gun Dynasty. We saw Rasia being that backup player, that sniper that continuously revived the rest of his team members. But this time, they are not putting the responsibility on the shoulder of their super sniper. They are all playing their role. I think the rotations are so much more tighter. The teamwork is looking solid. And I feel like it was not like any of those players were bad. It's just that strategically, they were trying out a flavor that perhaps did not favor them, and it required multiple clutches from Russia. This time, if they continue this run, they don't need Russia to clutch it out. They are going to annihilate everyone.
Yeah, it's always important to talk about like how each player is individually important, right? Right now, match standings look so good. He falls with 41 points, matching up with Loud Sneakers so quickly as well. We've only seen 2 maps.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, great equalizer here from EVOS. But again, shout out to DRS Gaming, the Rail Soldier, showing us that when you give a underdog team a opportunity on a stage like this, they will not let it go that easy. They're keeping up with the pressure that the competition brings, and they are delivering on every bit of expectation from the Nepalese fans. But here on the second page, you see there's a small little problem. India definitely has got one of the biggest crowds in terms of fan base, but they're not doing too well just yet. Now we've got Carol with the players here. Let's see exactly what the interview has for us. Tash and I will be right back with you.
Hello guys, Carol Bombshell here. Pleasure to be here.
कहाँ गया हिंदी? नेक्स्ट बाय Watchparty कर रहे हैं.
Way above, and right now to get a booyah in a second place, we feel like we are in the right path and to reach the finals. O time de vocês, o time da Loud, vocês conseguiram ter uma boa performance durante o Campeonato Brasileiro. Você acha que vocês estão no caminho certo para voltar a colocar a Loud no topo, para de fato vocês voltarem a ser os reis do Free Fire no Brasil?
A gente veio para isso, a gente voltou para fazer a Loud ser campeã mundial, que é o objetivo da Loud e o nosso. E a gente voltou para colocar a Loud no topo, assim como nós também queremos ficar no topo.
Yes, of course. Performing that well in Brazil brings us such great confidence, and we are here for that. We are here to bring the old Loud that you guys haven't seen before, and right now we are gonna put Loud for sure on the top again, but not only in Brazil, in the world, and that's why we are here at AWC 2026. For us to finish our interview, I would like to ask, vocês terminaram o Mundial de Free Fire no top 5, né, no ano passado. Quão importante foi isso para vocês jogarem internacionalmente? Obviamente que vocês estavam em outro time, mas você acha que esse resultado de um top 5 trouxe mais confiança para vocês performarem agora aqui no EWC 2026?
Com certeza, assim como no Campeonato Brasileiro que a gente sempre joga um campeonato e quando ele acaba e o desempenho não é tão bom, eu sempre solto uma frase que eu falo com o Joker, eu falo: mano, aqui nós aprendemos a jogar esse campeonato. A partir de agora, nós só vai desempenhar bem. E eu acho que foi o que aconteceu no último Mundial. Quando ele acabou, em vez de mim ficar triste e de cabeça baixa, eu falei, a partir de agora, nosso time aprendeu como jogar um Mundial.
Wow, that's very special. Okay, so reach the Free Fire World Series finals last year in the top 5 gave us such a great and important understanding in what we should do in Free Fire right now. And I told my coach, okay, so right now we are learning even more to play Free Fire. We are in the right path, and I think we are more than prepared to take the world right now, and that's exactly what we came to do here at AWC. Thanks so much for your time. Good luck in the next match. Make the L. And I'm back to you guys at the studio.
We waited for this moment from so long, और इस वक्त का हमको काफ़ी समय से इंतज़ार था. वो समय आ चुका है. भारतीय टीमों को हमने यहाँ पे देखा ज़रूर है. काफ़ी वक्त हुआ, काफ़ी समय बीता और उसके साथ यहाँ पे वो कदम इस मंच पे पड़ चुके हैं। ई स्पोर्ट वर्ल्ड कप पेरिस 2026 हम लोग विटनेस कर रहे हैं और अब यहाँ पे देखना यह है कि किस तरीके से जो भारतीय टीम है वो प्रदर्शन करेंगी। 2 गेम हो चुके हैं टीम एपेक्स गेमिंग की तरफ से, अभी तक वो परफॉर्मेंस नहीं आई है जिसके लिए वो जाने जाते हैं। वो पहले ही अपना झंडा भारत में गाड़ चुके हैं, अपने को बेस्ट साबित कर चुके हैं, लेकिन इस इंटरनेशनल मंच पर, अंतरराष्ट्रीय स्तर पर अभी वो प्रदर्शन देखना बाकी है। चलिए इंट्रोडक्शन देते हैं। मेरा नाम है आरवाईपी और मेरे साथ होने वाले हैं चिरायु गेमिंग। चिरायु, कैसा फील कर रहे हैं और इस टाइम वो गूज बम्स आ रहे हैं या फिर नहीं? जी बिल्कुल, यहाँ पे देखना होगा किस तरीके से ये मुकाबला आगे बढ़ता है, बिकॉज हमने कई तरीके की बैटल्स यहाँ पे देखी है, ईस्ट वर्सेस वेस्ट। एक तरफ हम देख रहे हैं कि लाउड स्नीकर्स जिस तरीके से प्रदर्शन कर रहे हैं, उनका एक बहुत बड़ा एडवांटेज रहता है। हम ये बात बखूबी जानते हैं कि एक्सप्लोजिव जिस तरीके से इस्तेमाल किए जाते हैं, जो प्रेशर बनाते हैं वो सामने वाली टीम के ऊपर, उसको काउंटर करना बहुत ज़्यादा मुश्किल हो जाता है। बट वहीं पे बात करें अगर हम यहाँ पे टीम एवोस की या फिर हम यहाँ पे ईस्ट की बात करें, साउथ ईस्ट एशियन टीम जो कि ई स्पोर्ट्स की जब भी हम बात करते हैं फ्री फायर की, डेफिनेटली वो डोमिनेट करते हैं, काफ़ी अच्छा प्रदर्शन करते हैं, लेकिन अभी के लिए वो डिफेंडिंग चैंपियंस भी हैं, ये भी उनको ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा। रासिया, वी नो दिस वंडर बॉय क्या कमाल करना जानता है, कि कमाल कर चुका है और एक बार फिर से यहाँ पे वो ट्रॉफी अपने हाथों में रखने के लिए वापस से प्रदर्शन करना पड़ेगा। इस वक्त इमोशंस हमको चैट में भी नजर आ रहे हैं, थोड़े से निराश भी यहाँ पे चेहरे हैं, हताशा भी यहाँ पे हाथ लगी है। 2 गेम में मात्र 4-5 अंक यहाँ पे हासिल की टीम एपेक्स गेमिंग ने। बट बात करें साउथ एशिया की, तो साउथ एशियन टीम की परफॉर्मेंस काफी सही नजर आ रही है। हम बात करें अगर DRS गेमिंग की, डेफिनेटली दाद देनी पड़ेगी इस नेपाली टीम की, जिस तरीके से ये अपना गोरखाली दमखम दिखा रहे हैं, जिस तरीके से इन्होंने प्रदर्शन किया दोनों गेम में, वो कंसिस्टेंसी निकल के आ रही है इनकी तरफ से। और पहले गेम
pesan untuk tim-tim lain ya, hati-hatilah karena ini EWC bukan turnamen yang lain. Kalian bisa lihat sejarah-sejarah kita di turnamen EWC kemarin. Nah itu dia, kalian hati-hati aja yang ngegangguin drop zone kita.
For anybody that was wondering how Evo's Divine was going to start Free Fire at EWC 26, boy, did we get an answer because they came in hot. By the way, yes, you saw one more person added to this amazing panel that we have, and it's none other than Lace. But Lace, I'm actually not going to start with you just yet. Sorry, because I'm standing at you guys. And you were wondering how they were going to be doing. All of us were wondering how they were going to be doing. They're doing pretty damn good.
They're doing pretty well. I'm kind of relieved actually because Esports had so many close calls throughout the whole entire first game, and it got me worrying. Not something that I want to see obviously, but at least they're slowly climbing the elimination points ladder, and they fixed what could be perfected on the first game because hey, come the second game, they know exactly what they need to do, and we see Russia obviously as a pivot sniper is gonna need more room for him to do dynamic movements, and that's exactly what the support gave them. So yeah, it works well for them. Esports is finally finding the rhythm that they kind of lost the first time. Again, maybe opening game, of course, the nerf is something that maybe we cannot explain. It's something that's always difficult, always hard for anyone at the EWC.
Yeah, there's that pressure on their shoulders, you know what I mean? They're like, you know, we've won, we've got to do it again. So like that's got to add on top of this as well. And I guess we saw that in their games too.
Yeah, but now leading the standing with 41 total points and 23 elimination points. I mean, that is crazy. Even you have to admit that.
I mean, it's amazing, not gonna lie. Seeing the players just chilling back there after getting that booyah and then looking at the keys, they're probably wondering which keys are we gonna be crushing now. But talking about teams that might be possibly crushing some keys, we gotta talk about Loud, because my goodness, Loud was another team that started off hot. You could say the first win was a bit given, but boy, they took took advantage of it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, coming from the position we're in, they're not really found in the map. I'm really looking forward to how they're going to adapt right now. They were trying to do the similar approach on that game number 2, but it's just unfortunate that Evo's Divine is the one who cut them off on the rotation. Just hanging in the middle of that final circle is one thing that Loud has been doing for the first 2 games, but it's just unfortunate that the rotation was not favoring them, and even Launchpad was not on them in that final moment. So it was tough for them to make that rotation.
It definitely was. One thing, I mean, we've been seeing some of these squads now being able to perform well, right? Evo's, Loud out of Brazil. Earlier, you were talking about rhythm, Conchita. I mean, Loud definitely is finding that rhythm. One team that is currently not finding their rhythm, though, Lace, is none other than Falcons.
Yeah, you know, we've been talking about that pressure, and they've got the pressure of the club championships on their shoulders. So, you know, amounts of other Falcons, you know, in different games coming through. So, of course, you know, they're sitting in that kind of middle of the pack at the moment. They are trying to find those eliminations early on. There was actually a moment in the second match where we saw Team Falcons hunting down Team Tag. They were able to take 2 limbs from the team, and they're like, no revivals for you guys. And we just saw them sort of launch over to where Tag was trying to recover the rest of the team and try and get those early eliminations. So, you know, I think they're sitting about, 6th place, 27. It's nothing, you know, at the top with those 41 sorts of points there. But look, they have shown the same kind of consistency that they had, you know, in these previous global series that they had. Sometimes they do incredibly well. Sometimes they choke and aren't flying like a Falcon should. But look, don't take your eyes off Team Falcons, guys, because they are capitalizing on those early eliminations, which are putting those points on the boards. And, you know, they're just looking for that booyah.
Yeah,
they're looking for that later on.
Let's see if they're going to end up getting it, because I'm looking at number 4 here.
Yeah.
Gundy Nasty. I mean, 32 points, that's not bad either.
Yes, Gun Dynasty, that first game was definitely something. I did not expect them to do so well. I mean, they have been consistently showing amazing strength and courage and the skill to back it up. So I am just at awe at how amazing Gun Dynasty is performing at the very first game. And sitting at 4th with 22 elimination points surely isn't bad. But I also kind of want to talk about Buriram, AGAL. It's like they're not fully being themselves. I don't know what is happening actually, Neptune.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, from what we've seen in AGAL and Buriram, they're trying their best to study their opponents just yet. Again, it's some of the teams are in here quite fresh.
Yes.
They haven't met them in Southeast Asia or some of the global tournaments that they have. So they need a little bit of time to study their opponents. And that's what they're doing for most part of the game. First half was just silent, and then towards the end, that's where they tried to put in a little pressure. But at some point, there's still a lot of teams surviving towards that final circle. So third party is Buriram United's one's weakness.
Yeah, I agree, because when I see Buriram United, it's like they're trying so hard to match the Brazil's gameplay, but somehow it bite them back in the process. So it's definitely something that we want to see from Buriram, either from AGAL.
Yeah, and I was talking to Lucifer, actually, one of the casters, that you'll be able to see it later on today. And I was asking him about Tag. You guys were mentioning Tag, how they're just currently not performing too. This squad, he was telling me that this squad tends to start slow, but they picked it up on the second day. Now, earlier, let's rewind it back. You were talking about consistency, right? That's not the consistency that we want to see out of these teams. So now that we got 2 matches done today, we got 4 matches left for this Group A. What are your expectations for Tag?
Actually, my expectation is that they could somehow learn from the mistakes, obviously, because the first 2 games, boy, oh boy, they were a little all over the place, if I can say that. I'm really sorry again.
It's okay. It's our job.
It's our job to say that, because I really want them to do well. I mean, obviously they have quite a name, that a reputation they need to upkeep. So this is just something that I feel very sad about seeing from them. I just hope that they can bounce back and do better.
Well, we'll have to see, though, because judging from that story, if you really need plenty of time, and we're only talking about, 4 days overall, then you'll be a loss already at first. And you don't want to be in the bottom 2 of that leaderboard, because true enough, after 2 days, you'll be out.
You'll definitely be out. And you know what? I want you, Lace, to put in your coach mentality. If you're looking at BP from Pakistan, I mean, this squad, a lot of people expected them to do well, especially all the crowd from Pakistan. Right now, they're in last place. If you're the coach, what are you going to go over there and tell them?
I'm telling you to get a boo freaking yeah. That's what I'm saying.
I can tell.
What I'm saying.
I can tell that there's something Lace really want to tell them, but she can't say it on camera.
I gotta be broadcast friendly here, okay? Let me let like the Australian out, please, guys. Let me let it loose. But look, those teams, and this is what we talk about when you say, you know, the mental capabilities of these teams. When you sit at that lower of the leaderboard, it is hard to sort of pick it back up and get to those sorts of spots with our AGLs and even like our GDs and stuff like that. It's going to be a little bit of a trek, but obviously 4 matches. Purgatory's next. Yeah. I heard Neptune say it. This is heaven or hell. So can they maybe get the heaven in Purgatory?
Okay, Purgatory coming up. What are we expecting, Neptune?
I'm hoping for a skewed flight path and a rough circle. Sorry for the teams out there. I know you want to get it easy right now, but
just like Aurora.
Yeah, I should be asking for the other one, for the reverse, because what I did to Aurora right there was just definitely jinxed them.
I'll give you a chance to redeem yourself, okay? We got 2 more matches coming up before you probably end up seeing us. Overall, 4 more matches here for Group A. Would you like to change your pick from Aurora?
Oh my God.
I gotta give him a chance.
I'm scared for you, really.
Would you like to curse any other team, sir?
Actually, I don't want to curse any teams anymore. Because it's very getting very dangerous right now. Like, this is a big stage, and if I'm being blamed of them not getting into the next stage, so I don't know. But I'm still cheering on for Aurora. Hopefully this time it's just a first game jinx, and then the rest will be quite well. Because even in game 2, I've seen them perform well. So first game jitters, that's what they might have felt. But yeah, so let's see if they can get that buoy. I'm still cheering.
I see you smiling. She's like,
yeah, I mean, talking about the first day is always unpredictable, right? Because of the jitters, the nervousness, the pressure that they have. But yeah, going into the 3rd and the 4th game, I think a lot of things needed to change, and Purgatory is actually a map that is a little forgiving on that. It's a great place for a reset, so I'm just so excited to see what the teams are going to bring.
And we have seen some of the other squads, right, especially going back to the first game. AG did great. I mean, this is one squad that you guys were picking as a surprise to be able to do good here. Boy, did they surprise us in the first game.
One thing that the personality of AG is trying to keep away from all those engagements. If they can bathe onto like outside of the circle on the 3rd, 4th phase of that map, then they will do so. And even with a team booster that we have, the Alice's own buff that is available, say they will be able to soak up in there, just get their position. Because do really need that time to get information as a sniper as a squad, and also the launch pad. That's the angle that we need to take right there. Was just difficult, especially if you have 7 or 6 or 7 teams remaining on 4th to 5th phase of the circle.
So what are you saying? We're seeing AGL probably follow their same format coming out of match 1, because they did land uncontested in like our first map, and then they GD that we saw, who's just an absolute heavy hitter, they were kind of like sneaking on down to AGL, and AGL was like, no, we need a little bit of space. So that's what you're saying. Match number 3, they're going to need their space, and then that's what they've like.
Okay, you know what? You got lucky, because I was going to have you pick a team, and I was going to see if you would end up cursing the team, but I'm being told game 3 is ready, so why not? Let's send it to AJ and Tash, and maybe they'll be willing to curse a team or encourage them.
Yeah, thanks, Seven. You know what? I don't think we're going to be cursing any squads. In fact, we are going to be blessing them with a little bit of extra luck out there. You know, in the first 2 games, we did see consistency from the reigning defending champions, Evil's Divine, as well as Brazilian squad Loud. But there are a couple of teams down at the bottom. I'm hoping to see more from this time round. I think that the panel called them out earlier. Tag, Mavxx Gaming, the Indian squad hasn't really been having a smooth run out there. But Purgatory is a huge map. There's tons of compounds out there, so you can play avoidance of majority of these initial engagements. And this could just be the kind of break the tag needs. But that is going to be purely dependent on if they're going to be able to avoid these early
Yeah, I really want to also say that some teams take a while to really heat up, right? Especially since today and tomorrow, they have a little bit of a leeway to just really find their footing. I think, you know, like what Conchita said, they're nervous, they're a little bit more, I would say, pressured. But now as you go to third map, now things should just ease up. Yeah, I really want to also say that some teams take a while to really heat up, right?
Monsters right beside them. One from LATAM, Gun Dynasty, has been cooking the squads that they come across in the early parts of the game so far. They've got the Dinoculus used up already, scanning out multiple players. Falcons scanning the area as well. On fire and Roger just at the perimeter looking to play third party. And perhaps this is that one big blessing that Team Mavxx Gaming is going to get from this equation. Maybe having Falcons a little bit closer to Gun Dynasty will give them an advantage to survive this initial battle.
And you already bought back into the game quickly. Shoto barely alive.
This is that one big blessing that Team Mavxx Gaming is going to get from this equation.
How?
Maybe
How in the world did we lose Titan Esports Club before even hopping on into the game here? Unbelievable. 19 points, and they do not have anything from this game. But Gun Dynasty, on the other hand, they're going to go in here for the annihilation. But now, punishing KD God and the super survivor, super reviver of the Gun Dynasty squad, looking for more. Oh, Miss Shoto, who flags it on in with the Valiant dash, catching up with him, taking Manel out for the max.
Yeah, he was the guy that's been responsible to bring the team back into the game, and now he has been brought in here. Now Tag has an idea of where exactly everyone is. Reebok tries to join in on the fight as well. Still waiting at the wings for the right. I think Opry just really joined in, but now on fire, finding movement already, and this offensive by Rasha could be nasty for the Falcon players. Now
Team Mavxx Gaming, all the blessings in the world. See, I told you, panel, we were going to bless them, not curse them. With all the blessings in the world, they get to avoid the initial encounter. We thought Falcons was going to be a little bit of a problem to deal with, but the White Tigers have dropped on in to say hello. You turning the table on them. Him got taken out of the equation already. Mavxx, the electrotherapy is on connection. But unfortunately for the rest of the Falcons players, they will not be able to get out of this pinch. Shoto now tossing in the grenade. Can he find more? And it's just going to be the ice grenade that gives him a little bit of an advantage here. What a knock on to Ray. Shoto, Team Mavxx Gaming not running away, staying and taking the fight straight to them.
And it started off with Tag with the ones that's on the lower of Shoto putting the damage here. Rasha moving away.
One more.
And movement coming in. Rasha cannot run away with his life.
Yeah, Chuck the India, baby. Shailjaat though, knocked down. Shiru finding him from across. Can they get more? Gun Dynasty trying to take a little bit of a revenge here onto Team Mavxx Gaming. 2 players out of the equation already, but on the other side of things, TEC, it was the battle up against Paradox earlier, and Windy did a number on them, connected with the electrotherapy, was down, almost taken out, but he got the triple on them to knock them out of the lobby early.
That is almost surgical when you think about it, how they're moving around together as a team. Meanwhile, Tag already on 6 eliminations here. Wolf is now back into the game. All eyes are on GD here, as Falcons as well is in trouble. There we go, Pina now out.
Shout out to production. I love the fact that they caught us up with what happened to TEC in the earlier parts of the game, and it's great to see Africa stepping up their gameplay out there. But Team Mavxx Gaming, talk a little bit about some step up out there, baby. 7 eliminations already, and they're looking for more. Buriram finding the players on the side of DP. Madara straight down to the ground, taken out of the equation already. Get high and Moshi looking for more. Top 16 though has got the vending machine right behind him, but does he have the coins to bring back his buddies?
Now in this situation here, Jonah is just barely alive, trying to stay here. But even then, look at his rotations. I dig that for DP, the easiest way to move around this is just really stay alive and move away from the area.
Okay, to answer my own question, he did not have enough coins. Madara's not going to be brought right back in. But the stealth bites helps him to reposition, catching up with Aswab. The players now looking to find a little bit of a reset. You will find Paradox, sniping down, snipe himself. Pun not intended. Windy gonna get the wind knocked out of him. Pun definitely intended. And AGAL getting a number down on that. Paradox, can he continue to survive? And Benel is up to it again, continuously reviving the rest of his team members. He's pulling a razzia on the rest of the world here for the LATAM squad.
You know, I really am curious, like toward the end of this tournament, how many Benel would have, revived, and would it be a world record to see how many he would be able to do so? Now, the rest of GD also back into the game as well. Look at this middle side of the map here. That's like, what, 4 teams hanging around there? Buriram United, PDX, Aurora, even DRS somewhere close by, DP, AGAL. It's a cluster of fights.
Man, Azrael, wrong move there, but that was desperation for sure. Up against 2 players, jumped on into the vehicle, but the VSK snaps him right out of it. And Aurora in a pinch, but maybe the interference of Buriram can help the Malaysian squad here. Alu now focusing on the players on the side of Buriram. Electrotherapy connected to the rest of his buddies, but if Alu gets taken out early here, DRS is going to be in a little bit of a pinch without their support player. But Prateek is in a great position with the Car 98, should be able to have a tad bit of an advantage here, but the angle's just not working out for them. DRS wants to reposition. And thankfully, Buriram is actually not going in for the hunt. They're looking to reposition and find a safer haven for themselves instead.
Yeah, Buriram United always like to prioritize surviving super early as well. AGL Cypher does get 1 over on the other end. Got me a bit nervous for Buriram United when I saw some shots coming toward them. I think Loud was really hot at their heels right then. But Buriram United, if they do move forward there, they will be running up against DP. Loud on the other end, just putting in damage toward the PDX and AGL players.
Again, shout out to the team in the back. The observers have been on fire. Thank you very much for making sure you guys catch all of the action out there, because it is hot on the lobby today. And like you said, we've got too many squads in this next circle, and that's exactly what Purgatory has been able to give us for quite a bit. Stroex and Rasya leading the eliminations, and Benel actually keeping up with them. With the damage out there, I mean, Benel, what a superstar. Super survivor, super rescuer, reviving the squad multiple times. Also one of the rushers of the squad, bringing in the numbers through eliminations for the LATAM squad. This is the best that we have seen out of them, and I feel like they're giving us the consistency that we usually look for. But Team Apex Gaming, great start. Can they continue against the champions of 2024? Falcons right in front of them, but Falcons are spread out. This is a big advantage for Team Apex Gaming.
Yeah, this is really great at just really finding its openings. And you can tell they're very hungry. They've been hot on the Falcons' tails for quite some time here. Even Shoto on fire right now. And the rest of TAG wants to collapse onto this fight. They've taken away the space, but Falcons has a little more space to prepare.
They gotta be careful here. They don't have information. They're rushing straight in. Team Apex Gaming needs to slow down the pacing here, get that info, and then play their positions well, because the flank on the side of Falcons might just be exactly what gives them the victory over Team Apex Gaming. And as requested, Team Apex Gaming says hasta la vista, putting a little bit of a distance between themselves and Falcons. Pina, a sliver of health on him, but no finisher just yet. The Mopo tagging them up, and India, they do give away their positions, but will win. Perfect Thompson play, knocking down on fire. Raja with the M590 looking for the revenge, but those glue walls played perfectly by India.
They kept him away. He wasn't able to follow. He cannot come in. And now the rest of TAG wants to go this fight. Here Raja has a low in the corner. On fire's back in the game already. Rushes forward. Raja in the corner and taken down and out. Eliminated already here, but Falcons brings him back in quickly.
Yeah, boy, Shoto's on fire. And Team Apex Gaming right back in it. But they gotta make sure they finish what they started. Korora right out there. Pina with the support play. Bullwin knocked down already. And this is still trouble time. Team Apex Gaming, they've got the vending machine out here outside the circle. They need to clean up their act right here, right now. The eliminations are looking good, but Falcons are not gonna get taken down that easy. Shoto with the flank. What a headshot! Shoto's on fire! And Team Apex Gaming will survive!
I love Shoto, how aggressive, how confident he was in taking up that space, knowing how exactly to play with the information and position he has.
What a recovery! The revives are on point as well. And Team Apex Gaming on Purgatory. We talked about them having a little bit of extra room to breathe. And with that extra bit of oxygen in their system, they are on fire. And Falcons now on the revival spree, but with 1,300 in his pockets. Double revival, no problems at all. Falcons, though, on a little bit of a reset. Buriram close to their compound, but I don't think the World Jams will be looking to take the fight up against them. Falcons scanning out their area with the Dinoculus, a counter Dinocular used here, potentially by either EVOS or Buriram. As the players on the side of DP slowly makes their way in, AGAL looking for that backstab. I don't think the World Champs will be looking to take the fight up against them. Falcons scanning out their area with the Dinoculus, a counter Dinocular used here, potentially by either EVOS or Buriram. As the players on the side of DP slowly makes their way in, AGAL looking for that backstab. I don't think the World Champs will be looking to take the fight up against them. Falcons scanning out their area with the Dinoculus, a counter Dinocular used here, potentially by either EVOS or Buriram. As the players on the side of DP slowly makes their way in, AGAL looking for that backstab. Takes down our swap and a little bit of a pickle. Stroex, can you get away? Even if you do, can you get enough coins to play recovery? All alone now for the side of the Rail Soldiers. And Gun Dynasty under the crosshairs of Team Loud. The recovery is going to be close to impossible here for Gun Dynasty. If they pull it off somehow without Benel, it is going to be a miraculous run for sure. Even if you do, can you get enough coins
really
to
waiting
play
things
recovery?
out right now. Kiroro is here on the Falcons. They have like a nice, I think, off angle to play with, but not even close to get into that circle. You have to take this fight against EVOS, which is going to be so annoying. Even Stroex, look how far back he has to move away from the area just to survive.
It is going to be a miraculous run for sure. A bit of a slower pace. And scanning out 4 players on the side of EVOS as well. Good Dinocular once again from the side of Falcons. But what can you do with that extra bit of information? You can't flank around too far off to the left and tank a lot of the damage, putting yourself out in the open. So Falcons are going to actually go in for a direct approach here. And clearly Avex on the side of EVOS as well. M249X in hand. Once again, not worry at all about losing his bullets. He can spray. Badly needing to pray for Team Apex Gaming. I hope you've said your prayers already. You're coming close to one of the biggest dominators in the competition. Who are not really on fire just yet. So maybe that's going to be the blessing here. Shoto, Superman for the side of Team Apex Gaming. Looking for the shutdown. Wasana looking for those nades as well. Team Apex Gaming. And for the time being, the ice grenades tagging them out. Coming close to one of the biggest. But Buriram not going anywhere. They want to take this fight and they're waiting for Team Apex Gaming to break down those glue walls so they can have an advantage.
And meanwhile, over on this side here, EVOS
Katie God!
The Falcons out of that circle. Pina finds this angle, puts the damage onto Aimgot, reposition, but hard to do anything as EVOS collapses onto the members of the Falcons. On fire, barely alive, one member knocked down as well. Moving together as a team, the double swings are too much to deal with.
Yeah, that's what I said, man. Falcons can get all the information they want off of the Dinoculus, but they were just in a rough spot positionally. Could not flank around to the left. EVOS would have sniped them out of the waters instantaneously. Had to take a straightforward fight because of the damage of the circle.
2 minute हिंदी में कर रहा हूँ ड्यूज में
इस वक्त सिर्फ एक ही मोटो, एक ही नारा है, वो है आपको एट एनी कॉस्ट सर्वाइव करना है, बिकॉज दिस इज बैटल रॉयल। आपको यहाँ पे कोशिश करनी है बेस्ट पोजीशन निकालने की। 5 एलिमिनेशन इस टीम के पास होने वाले हैं। स्ट्रोएक्स एक कमाल का स्नाइपर होने वाला है। इस वक्त एवोस के ऊपर निगाहें जरूर होने वाली हैं। वॉर्स का इस्तेमाल किया था, रासिया ने भी स्पॉट किया स्ट्रोएक्स को, और अब देखना ये होगा कि क्या उस परमानेंट कवर के बाहर जाना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि मेडिकेट्स तब यहाँ पे दिक्कत होंगे। एंटी मटेरियल लॉन्चर्स के साथ यहाँ पे परफेक्टली एम कर वो डैमेज दिया गया। वॉल्स का इस्तेमाल किया जाएगा, वॉल बस करी जाएगी। यहाँ पे एक पेड़ का सॉफ्ट कवर होने वाला है। पीछे से हम देख पा रहे हुए गया THK फ्रॉम गन डायनेस्टी, वो भी अपने एक और खिलाड़ी के साथ यहाँ पे बैठे हुए हैं, और वो यहाँ पे कोशिश करेंगे कि फिलहाल के लिए वो भी सर्वाइवल करें। वो इस वक्त अननेसेसरी फाइट्स में यहाँ पे इन्वॉल्व नहीं होना चाहते। वहीं पे बुरीराम यूनाइटेड ई-स्पोर्ट्स उनके पास नंबर एडवांटेज होने वाला है। इस बार बड़ा गेम निकाल सकती है ये टीम। 6 टीमें, 15 खिलाड़ी अभी भी जीवित, और ये लीजिए एक और टीम यहाँ पे नहीं, 2 टीमें पलक झपकते एलिमिनेट हो गए। नाउ वी आर इनटू द फाइनल।
Could be a big one, but Buriram calls for the bolt maker. Lightning zone now.
It's the worst issue was
for both AGAL as
पीछे से वो भी आ सकते हैं ब्रो यहाँ आपने देखना
eliminated from the equation before he can even make a play. And a
ब्रू के पीछे AGL है
two teams with the bolt maker
ब्रू
out
सैंडविच हो सकते हैं ब्रू सैंडविच हो सकते हैं भाई
those monster trucks. Extra layer of defense here for them. You can blow it up, but you cannot touch them just yet.
Yeah, Nameless get knocked out here. Nasha goes for 2 even to the AGAL side. And now,
भाई क्या मारा 6 elimination
Rasha that's able to secure every single elimination point. Now, the tension changes.
ब्रू ने भाई दे दिया AGL को देखो 4v4
A familiar situation here. Southeast Asia takes over Purgatory. And EVOS Divine up against Buriram United Esports. Can they go for a back-to-back booyah? Or will Buriram ruin the party here for EVOS? Either way, EVOS will still
भाई
stay
EVOS क्या टीम है ब्रो EVOS ले जाएगी फ्री फायर
breaking down their own defenses, but
Watch team.
doesn't pull away too much from that. Moshi with the M82B gets the knock. Ray still standing up those
Bro.
up against Jonah, who gets
और
the hop
EVOS
off
को
of the
मार
blue
दिया
wall.
ब्रू
And
ब्रू
finds
ब्रू
Save God right behind it. And
EVOS का एक बंदा ही गया पर
looking for the finisher up against EVOS.
Yeah, Wasana just rushing
क्या
forward.
रश कर रहा है यार
All alone. The shots going a bit too hard. But Mochi
What?
going huge.
ये क्या मार दिया ब्रो ये देखो दिखाता हूँ
Getting that booyah. Amazing work. Get knocked out.
Up against Buriram United Esports. Can they go for either way? Italian Dash breaking down their own defenses. Still standing up close and personal up against Jonah, who gets a hop up off of the glue wall and finds Aim God right behind it.
ये देखो ये देखते हैं ये क्या मारा देखना देखो
For the finisher up against EVOS.
Yeah, Wasana just rushing forward here. Rasha here all
ये
alone. The shots
उस साइड से मारा उसने मुझे लगा इसने मारा ब्रो नहीं 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 उस साइड से उसने मारा ये लगा उसने मार दिया
I think really stood out to me as
वो
well.
बंदे ने
But
मारा
that final few picks coming from Moshi that's completely clean.
United Esports. Can they go for a back-to-back booyah? Or will Buriram ruin the party here for EVOS? Either way, EVOS will still
भाई
stay
EVOS क्या टीम है ब्रो EVOS ले जाएगी फ्री फायर
breaking down their own defenses, but
Watch team.
pull away too much from that. Moshi with the M82B gets the knock. Ray still standing up those
Bro.
up against Jonah, who gets
और
the hop off
EVOS
of
को
the
मार
blue
दिया
wall.
ब्रू
And
ब्रू
finds
ब्रू
Save
ब्रू
God right behind it. Here for EVOS. Either way, EVOS will still
भाई
up against Buriram United Esports. Still standing up close and personal up behind it. EVOS.
Yeah, Wasana just rushing forward here. Rasha here all
ये
alone. The shots
उस साइड से मारा उसने मुझे लगा इसने मारा ब्रो नहीं 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 उस साइड से उसने मारा ये लगा उसने मार दिया
I think really stood out to me as
वो
well.
बंदे ने
But
मारा
that final few picks coming from Moshi that's completely clean. United is going to be the one at the very top. They always start off very hot, I believe.
Yeah.
But then after a while, you start to see them waver a little bit. I'm wondering how this year would change for them.
चलो वीडियो कास्टिंग देखो
Towards the end, it was more of a hunting game. The players are not doubting it at all in terms of usage. Now, we've got a few commercials to play. Dash and I will be right back with you after the panel catches up with you guys.
टेक पड़ा है टीएरी का नजर ना लगे तो क्या क्या
Alright, hello everyone, it's Yuso and we are live in Paris here in EWC 26 Free Fire stage. And right next to me, we have our two co-streamers who are so popular in Vietnam. Introduce to you
कोशिश चल रही है भाई
Cyrus. Xin chào tất cả mọi người, thì không biết là hiện tại là mình đang ngồi đây sân khấu tại Pháp thì mọi
भाई
người
इंग्लिश तो बोलो ये इंग्लिश स्ट्रीम चल रही है
Xin chào tất cả các bạn nha.
chia sẻ rồi nha क्या बोल रहा
Gọi là tuyệt vời và chưa bao giờ mà thấy một cái sân khấu mà lớn như thế này các bạn ơi. Mình không biết là áp lực của các tuyển thủ sẽ như thế nào nữa.
Sau đó thì cảm thấy như thế nào ạ?
Dạ em có thấy rất là vui ạ.
Vui thôi hả?
Dạ.
Mình bay rất là lâu tới đây mà chỉ thấy vui thôi hả?
Em cũng trải nghiệm được nhiều rồi.
Trải nghiệm được nhiều.
क्या बोल रहा है भाई इंग्लिश बोलो इंग्लिश स्ट्रीम करो भाई
Very special to them in this Free Fire scenes.
Thank you.
A very overwhelming feelings, happy when they're here in Paris to attend EWC 26 Free Fire. Okay, so I can see in the comment section thì không biết là từ nãy đến giờ mọi người theo dõi được 2 trận đấu rồi thì không biết là cả bác gấu và cả sau đó cảm thấy là các bạn khán giả của mình comment như thế nào vậy? Mọi người có hưng phấn có đang chờ đợi màn trình diễn của Team Secret của mình không ạ?
Wow, rất nhiều người ở Việt Nam và rất nhiều người khán giả hâm mộ của series WG đang trông chờ màn ra mắt của WG và rất nhiều khán giả đang coi ở tất cả kênh sóng của Ghana DeFi Việt Nam đang rất bất ngờ bởi vì cái phong thái của Latam hay là ở kể cả Mexico hoặc là Ấn Độ họ đánh giá thấp Brazil nhưng năm nay Brazil trở lại khá là mạnh mẽ.
Cảm ơn bác gấu ạ. Vậy thì Cyrus sẽ cảm thấy như thế nào về trong 2 trận đấu vừa qua đi? Thì Cyrus đánh giá như thế nào? Bởi vì bảng A cũng sẽ là một cái bảng rất là căng thẳng so với bảng B của chúng ta.
Thì theo em thấy thì sau 2 trận thi đấu thì em thấy cũng khá là khắc nghiệt. Nếu mà đội nào sẽ thi đấu mà gọi là xuống phong độ sẽ đội đó sẽ bị loại.
Chính xác là như vậy. So as we can see that of this coming tournament, here we have a lot of teams, Latam, India, and so many move on more. And very excited to see a huge circle of Free Fire all attending here to compete their best to get the champions at EWC 26. And overall, after 2 matches from Cyrus depends on him. Well, who got the weakness has go down, obviously. And of course, I can see that everyone is really hyped, especially for Team Secret, as known as WAG from Vietnam, are also here to attend EWC 26. We'll attend the match in the Group B after this Group A end. Well, this is the end, and I love the energy of everyone here. Everyone looks so happy and very hyped for their favorite team. And I do hope you guys are also like that. Please continue to support your team.
Boy, we had to make sure we got away from some of our other analysts because I know they were hyped that Buriram has finally showed up. They got that booyah, and this is what we were expecting out of the 3-time world champs.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's champions against champions right now. One taking the global finals, one taking the EWC, so you would expect really fire gameplay out of that final game, out of the final match, final circle. AJL though, I mean, I think like we just looked away, and then the moment that we look back, they were out. So the final 2 teams, the 4v4, it was just phenomenal. But I'm also looking forward to how Lao is going to recover right now, because I think they were pushed down a little bit too hard this time. And Rim United, after getting that booyah, they just catapulted themselves up.
Do you think they're going to be, especially for Loud, right? Do you think this is the next game? It's time for them to bounce back because we're seeing consistency once again out of Evos.
Yeah, I mean, Evos being a top 3 in 2 games or 3 games already is enough. Like, if you want to be in there, just an easier ticket to stage 3, then that's what they need right now. Compared to their Southeast Asia, right? And they always go for the longer route, the longer days, like even not skipping a day because they're there at the bottom, going into elimination before the grand finals, before point rush. So I'm loving this version of Evos right now. Probably it's because of the crowd giving them more energy.
True, and this is the halfway point as well for Group A on day 1 of Free Fire at Esports World Cup 26. Now, out of all the squads, right, we're hyping up the squads that are doing good. Let's talk about some of the other squads that needed to improve on that 3rd game. And one of them that ended up improving, at least for my liking, had to be Tag. Boy, this squad was finally able to start putting up some eliminations on the board, and this is what we're expecting them. I know Lucifer in the back is expecting even more out of them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we were just talking about that earlier before the game started, and then we saw them perform. So it's a good thing as well that it only took them a couple of games before for their warm-up, before they really bring it on. Because being at the bottom 2, or almost the bottom 2, that's not a place that you want to be, even if you still have another day to play. So you don't want to risk it. At least bring yourself halfway to what is intended, and then that's when you play. If you don't like, that's when you gauge. If you really don't want to show that much performance, just go in there in the skirts of what is needed to get the next stage.
Yeah, and the good thing too, like going in regards to Evos, in regards to Buriram United, now that are starting to get all these points, right? One thing that is going good for this squad, yeah, they're performing well, they're being consistent, but they're just sponging up all those points at the top. And don't forget, once we finish tomorrow from Group A, the top 4 will be going to Champion Rush Finals. And the last 2 will be going home, and in between they'll be going to survival. But that sponge of points there from the top is going to just make everything even tighter.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's difficult for them to really catch up. Like because of the huge lead that you have right there, it's making it like hard for the teams to really catch up, and it's also demeaning at some point. Like you will see your team at the bottom trying and struggling that much to bring in the numbers, and then you see the top wherein you, even if you still have one day, but everyone is competitive at this point. You want to get closer and closer to where you're intended to be, to skip one day and just watch everyone play.
Yeah, and from this map that we just saw, Purgatory, remember, this is one that you were looking to see some crazy stuff. I gotta ask you, were you happy with what we saw there out of Purgatory, or do you want to see more madness?
Well, definitely more madness, more chaos with it. Because Purgatory, like, I'm not giving that most of the opportunity for a skewed flight path, the like ruining for final circle, but at least the teams are treating it as if it's a skewed flight path. The early engagement that's happening, a lot of teams trying to go in and out for battle, and that's what makes it exciting, because they're just playing it with the spirit of the map itself.
Yeah, and now going to the last 3 games here of Group A, right? Earlier we were talking about tag. We wanted to see them being able to step up. I know we have a team from Pakistan as well that, I mean, we want them to see step it up because they just have such a passionate fan base back at home. I want you to tell me a team that you're going to be looking at, especially this next 3 matches, to either continue to be consistent the way they have been, or that you might see some fluctuation on their performances.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see Paradox Gaming. Currently, they're the bottom of the leaderboard right now, but at some point we've seen the aggression as well from their regional, so it's something that they can bring to the table a little bit early this time instead of waiting for the second day. And also some of the consistency that we've seen from DRS Gaming, because the Real Soldiers Gaming is one of those that we didn't expect really show up the first time in EWC, first time in global in terms of a Free Fire competitive scene, and they're really doing well. I don't know if this is the full extent of their performance, or they're just still biding and waiting for the opportunity to bring the fire on.
I mean, they just gotta put themselves in that position where they can actually just claw at that booyah like Buriram United Esports was able to do on that last one. Wasana was one of the players that I know Conchita really wanted to see them being able to step up in their performance and actually perform for their squad. Is there any player or any 2 players that in the next 3 matches you're going to be keeping a close eye on because you want them to impact the game in a positive way for their team?
Now, one thing I'm really looking at, especially if Wasana is involved, you have Get High in there. Get High with a combination of Wasana would be really aggressive on their tip-top shape, and also Moshi in there, like staying in the back lines. Depending on the map, though, if we go into a map wherein it's like favoring the snipers, we might see Moshi and Jones all the way try double sniper or just get information in the early parts of the game, and then just leave the opportunity for Wasana as well as Get High to go for those elimination. And once they keep seeing from United, it's once they get that knock, they pull out the launch pad and jump straight into the battle.
We have a lot of viewers that might be watching Watchparty for the first time. If you are one of those viewers, please let us know on social media. Use the hashtag EWC. Use the hashtag EWC26. I want you to explain to the new viewers that are watching Free Fire for the first time about that launchpad, because I absolutely love it. As we're just being absolutely sidetracked here by a dancing. Is that a dancing bull or a dancing cow?
Dancing bull. And I love the energy.
Yes.
I really love the energy on the stage right now.
That looks so, I can tell.
Yeah, it is.
You guys playing like three more games. Okay, your group
They
is
are
gonna be
flexing, bro. And I am also flexing. ये तो फ्री फायर में वाले कर रहे हैं, हम वो नहीं कर सकते, हमें यही करना है. Why is watching
now and a great revenge storyline coming from them, because from what we've said, from what we've seen as well, there's a lot of disappointing run and what's caused by these couple of champions that we have in front of us right now. So I look to see, it's a good thing as well, it's a very different group, because they won't have to beat them on the get-go.
They're just waiting to see each other on the finals or survival, which honestly, if you're Evos, if you're Burim, it's not going to be looking like you're going to be going to survival. If they keep playing like this, consistency, you might as well just put it in their middle name, because these squads have been very consistent. But I think it's time we start the second half of Group A. Let's send it over to AJ.
Honestly, insane seeing what's going on ground. We have so many people here. We have mascots on the ground as well. And we're already halfway through the first group.
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm very sure that the fans out there are excited to see their teams perform out here on the battles. But it is definitely a big question mark for some of the squads, right? You look at Paradox Gaming, you look at how they're doing out there so far. I feel like the gunfights in Purgatory were so much better, but they're still having their first day jitters full on. I want to see a little bit of an improvement as we head on into this game number 4.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit about, you know, you have how much space to really just warm up that engine, get yourself into the groove of the game. But as we go into the day, yes, 2 days, but already for Group A, we're halfway through. 3 more maps to go before they go on a break for the rest of the day, then come back tomorrow. But then again, playing catch-up against these teams is not going to be easy.
Locally, for Paradox, this is one of their better maps. So this could just be exactly what turns their fate around here on day 1. You don't really want to be depending on day 2 to find that recovery back into the competition. And you sure as hell don't want to be at the bottom 2 spots, because that is straight up relegation tomorrow if that is where you're going to end the day on. But as we head on into game number 4, it's time for some Next Terra.
Next Terra is interesting. There's just so many different bits and bobs parts of this map. Oh, how he's going to go. And on top of that as well, we are still seeing, I think, somewhat of a hot drop here. Looking here, we have PDX, I think, toward the Deca Square with another team. I'm not too sure. I can't really see who exactly is that. I believe it's DRS.
Russia leading the leaderboard right now with elimination. 16 points personally delivered by the Super Sniper, the Wonder Kid. Still the Wonder Kid. And I think nobody else is going to be taking away the title from him. No one else has shown the kind of determination, the kind of hunger, as well as the performance that Russia has shown us ever since he stepped onto a stage like this. But Loud, once again, looking to do exactly that as they play a little bit of Clash Squad up against Falcons.
There's a lot of things going on over there as well. You see On Fire reposition himself a little bit more further forward, keeping his head down here, because there's a lot of pressure that they're putting onto him as well. His teammates aren't super close as well. So if anything, he's just buying a bit of time, but his teammates, I think, shouldn't be a problem to bring him back into the game if he does go down fairly early. But if anything, the best case scenario for Falcons, well, you steal away one more kill before you get knocked down here. But BCP is tracking him right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess it's not a full-on Clash Squad battle. Both of them are out of this first down area. The rotations are coming on through, and it looks like Loud wants that big flank to find the extra point off of the Falcon player. Catch up with them later on as Burinam spots out James Bride, top 16, about to be tagged up. Jonah has got the M24 in hand, just no angles to work off of it just yet. Gun Dynasty, on the other hand, with a very early reset, at least pulling back one player back in here, and with a phenomenal flank On Fire, finally taken out of position there. AGL, one player down on the ground. The battle between them and Gun Dynasty does not end well here for Gun Dynasty. The recovery definitely needed once again. Manel is on the case.
Yeah, in this situation here in AGL, they've been so proactive with these early fights as well. Already 5 eliminations here. Saifa once more. Rahat is on the other end waiting as TEC already in such a precarious position, but this team is able to be brought back into the game. But Nejat goes down to PDX.
Oh, Team Apex Gaming. Extra point for them, baby. They can pick this up. Thrill of battle popped perfectly. And a timely thrill of battle leads to Wolven picking up that extra point. But here comes Demon's Pride. They won the fight. They jump straight to the vending machine. Instant revival, but Madara sacrifices himself for that pick. Jazzy comes in for the save, picking up his buddy. No extra revivals needed. Team Apex Gaming didn't finish the plays off just yet. Catch a quick replay here in the middle of a very important battle for Team Apex Gaming. But it looks like we'll call for a little bit of a truce for the time being.
Yeah, just now I think a lot of things are going on in that situation. I think they got cornered, if you ask me. Now, as we look at the main fight that's probably going here, TAG is still chasing the heck out of TP. Have Jazzy already knocked down as well. And I have to say, TAG doing a great job just cornering their prey, making sure that they can't reposition.
Almost got a little bit messy there. And obviously, the recovery was going to be important, and that's exactly what Team Apex Gaming finds for themselves. Buriram saw players step into the compound of the Indian squad just moments ago, and as I say that, Wolven takes him right off the board. Get IXL is there though, and it looks like Buriram's taking a full-on fight up against the Indian squad. Team Apex Gaming might be in a little bit of a trouble here. Katie God brings Wolven right back in on screen, and Loud spotting out Gun Dynasty, who is looking for the recovery in this game. I don't know if or not they're ready for the battle. One player from the side of TEC is going to be stuck in this compound as well. It's going to get messy for them if they can't find the recovery for themselves.
Yeah, UAV is out as well. Should give away the position. Trying to get that. I think trying to just jump and see if he can get some info, but he got tagged. If anything, in this situation here, Kutush might be in trouble next. And I have to say, Ben will do a great job of marking every single enemy around the area. Nothing gets away from this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. They play the Boko really well. And he had the M82B and the SKS as well. Great attention from the long range and the advantage taken. And Katie God keeping the Indian squad still in the game with the double revive. Buriram trickled in one after the other, finding Team Apex Gaming. But the Indian squad could not take these giants out. Three-time world champs for a good reason. They're just ramping up very slowly and not showing their aggressive side just yet, Buriram.
You can see how active the map is right now. Loud's getting a few pickoffs as well. I'm sure DRS as well, while everything has been going on here. In this situation, I think...
No, Katie God, just a wrong spot. Ran straight in at Buriram. No binoculars, no extra information out in the open. Just got spent. And now Falcons finding the players of Gun Dynasty. Gun Dynasty's just had a rough run in this one this time round. Nextera's just not their players. David will find one from afar. David Triple found as well. The players of Gun Dynasty flanked all around, and it's the Falcons swooping on in. The birds of prey looking for a meal. And Gun Dynasty is just that fill.
Yeah, and Shairu is stuck outside the zone as well. What are you going to do here? You have to find a different way into the area. And Falcons wants, they desperately really want that one extra point. It almost feels like they just are playing with a vengeance. Now, in this situation here, GD looking good with 6 points already. Shairu still managing to stay alive. And right now, if you look at the leaderboard here, Esports is looking really good right now. They have a huge lead compared to the rest of the teams. And in terms of, I would say, positioning right now, they're looking, I think, fairly alive. If anything, throughout the entirety of the day, EVOS has been doing well in terms of positioning, in terms of pickoffs, in terms of fights as well. And I don't think this is going to change anytime soon.
Sarah's always given us a lot of eliminations thanks to vending machines, compounds that you can use for cover, not having to use up all of your blue walls too early in the matchup. And we're going to see quite a number of survivors again. As I say that, the Rail Soldiers pulling in a double revive. Yet again, extra making sure he brings back the 2 revives first. So great strategy played by him before he got caught out there. Unfortunate that he could not go in for that final revive. So 2 players down for the side of DRS once again.
AGL is really scary. If you think you managed to shake them off, they just really a false sense of security before finally being taken out. He's done his due diligence though. He brought his teammates back into the game, and I think bringing them back into the game poses a big threat to so many of these teams. Now, in this particular area where the Falcons was, you could see just now they were really looking for Jazzy. He's still very much alive, but they have to be very, very aware that Loud is close by somewhere in the wing. So this could potentially be a two-way fight. Is looking really good right now.
Rough run for Demon's Pride. Yeah, Pride definitely taking a hit here on day 1. Still down at the very bottom of our leaderboard with just 10 points to the side. David Triple 4 down on the ground. Instant pick up there, and the recovery is solid for Gun Dynasty. They have been challenged all throughout this lobby. The only one they have now is they're dealing with DRS. They've got the numbers advantage in this battle as well.
Trying to find this bounty as well as really settle it down as well as Alu tries to put a little bit of space away from GD. If he's able to maybe isolate this fight by a bit of to give him a bit of, I would think, support, that'll be really good. Now the Falcons finally ran toe-to-toe against Loud. BCP forced to move away here as the Falcons finally rally back. They have a nice high ground to play with. Over on the other side here, gonna cook up that nade. They're gonna think it's gonna be going a little bit too wide as BCP is just so quick on that reposition.
Yeah, there was a blind nade there, no Moko for the advantage. BCP. Extra bit of confidence off of the electro therapy that Cassie provided them. Limit those straight down to the ground. Recovery is not going to be impossible here. Going up against one of the best Brazilian squads. Shut them down, and that's exactly what Nyx does. M10-14 perfection on fire taken down. Cororo shut down as well. Loud making a lot of noise, but Pina's there for
Loud
the
making a lot
the
of
pickups have to be the focus here. And Falcons surviving this one. Guaka too far away to back up the rest of his brothers, and Falcons will survive because of that.
I love it the fact that Falcons really double down on this, and then Devin is try his best to survive. United, they're saying no. So as much as you want to survive, it's not gonna happen. We'll take you out of that hole if we have to. Gets one more point to their name, and now they're gonna go and find a different way into the area. This mid-side area in terms of rotations here, southern side, Mavxx has control of this area. Toward the western side, MVDX is sort of moving around the area. Northern side, Aurora, but middle side here, you have I think GD and AGL over, and TAG just busting forward, looking for this fight eagerly.
Just with that game 3, Buriram has jumped into the top 3 already. Now you see the Moko tagging up the players on the side of Team Mavxx Gaming. This is a little bit of a AGL focus fire, but Team Mavxx Gaming very smartly repositioning.
एक बंदे का मैसेज आया
Process of both AGL as well as Gun Dynasty.
कि परमिशन मेरी पार्टी है वो पार्टी
Indian squad for sure.
उसको काय पता नहीं है मैंने ले लिया
Showing their hand either. They're just really hoping to weather down that storm because no team can really get too close to one another for this forward fight. Pina somewhere along the lines there does find Sturwax eventually. Alu rushing forward there. Also taken down on fire, but regardless of that, would have been traded. So now the Blueser comes through here. Kiroro should be brought back into the game as Loud is slowly trying to recalibrate themselves.
Recalibrate indeed. The double revive coming on through. Full squad once again for the Brazilian squad. Loud have been loud from the start. Very consistent to keep themselves in the top 4. But they have to make sure they play a little bit of recovery here. And Nyx is gonna have his foot shot off. Mavxx with a sharp shot from afar. AC80 perfection once again. And yet again, the Brazilian squad on the back foot. This is just not their lobby. Recovery seems to be really difficult. And that's exactly what Nextera is. Lots of spots to hide away at. And we have got a ton of squads, so many players still alive and kicking as we approach the 12 minutes.
Yeah, Alu is not going to be able to hit the ground there.
मस्त मारा मस्त मारा यार सालों बेचारा हवा में चला गया
Not happening though, you know.
Best thing
like you mentioned,
कौन
Yoshi
से होता
just so superb on the snipers.
Oh yeah. I'm showing that yes, we were ramping it up slow, but nothing impossible for us to catch up with.
Falcon है
Right below the bridge like
Falcon
up
है
against Falcons, but gonna get caught all
क्या
alone
DA
here.
मार रही
On fire, making that rotation, Russia.
Oh,
Can you
Evos
survive this one?
Evos
What
के
kind
ऊपर
of
चलेंगे
trickery will you show us?
Evos के
It's Gun Dynasty that takes advantage of the
ये
chaos.
oh
And the follow-up is solid. Evos with the
Evos वाले ने क्या जंप मारा है यहाँ से ये देखो यहाँ से ये जंप मार के
Is gonna get picked right back up, and Falcons off of that rotation put themselves under the bridge, losing 2 players in that sequence.
In this situation, Evos as well trying to take
और वो
away
सीधा
the
वो
positioning
के
coming
पास
in
चला
from
गया
Aurora, but cannot able to come close to them at all. And Evos is very, very patient here, trying to find an opening, an angle, anything. But also aware that Loud is close by. One moment your head is out there and you know it's going to be instantly popped. And that's how it is for both of these teams here. And it's sort of a momentary stalemate between these 3 teams. You have to worry about PDX as well. You also see that they're trying to rush away from the area as Fire tries to put in the damage.
दोनों गए मोस्ट स्पेशली है थोड़ा अवॉइड मारना है बस इनको 4 ओवर से पड़ेगी अभी देखो ये तो ये टीम पकड़ रही ये नीचे से ये साइड से इसमें नेट वगैरह आता है हाँ ये बन गया साइड 3 नेट साइड 3 सोचो एक साथ ओह गया ना और Evos क्या मार रही है ब्रो 65 पॉइंट्स के साथ है 65 सोचो
out of the Brazilian squad this time round grenade. What a tight angle, played perfectly there. But Loud up against Evos.
ये ही कहाँ है दो बंदे हो रहे हैं सोटो दूसरा वन दूसरा वन है
Fighting for this real estate property. Saifa gets knocked down somewhere in the corner here as Evos still saves their lives by just hunkering down in a corner and waiting out the initial onslaught. You can see Trap barely alive, already taking out so much damage. Gets a top up here, trying to break into the building, and somewhere in the corner, Team Apex Gaming does already get eliminated here. Loud waiting patiently on the outer side here. Like it or not, Evos and Aurora are gonna have to vacate the premises. Now the glue wall's been, I think, destroyed. They're coming into the area. Evos forced to move back as well.
A smart repositioning here by Loud. To put a great distance between themselves and the chaos that they almost encountered between Evos and Aurora. Now leaving the battle between the Malaysian and the Indonesian squad. And the shots from afar, AGL putting that pressure on. Putting that pressure on to both Aurora and Evos. Riptide Rhythm breaking down the defenses. Azrael sneaky. He saw the Riptide Rhythm and quickly stepped away from the window. Ray on the other hand not doing that. AJL getting a couple of tags in. Ingot. The Molko tagging him up already.
क्या सेल्स बना रहे हैं क्या स्पीड में सेल्स बन रहे हो देखो बस
Get the pleasure of doing so.
AGL का ये AGL का है ब्रो मैं बोल रहा हूँ मुझे पता था लाउड निकल जाएगा सबसे
You is doing great.
भाई
Really
क्या
catching
कर
people
रहा
in the
है
mid of the
मस्त
rotations as
इनको
well.
अच्छा
Now Evos only
इनको
Aimbot is alive, gonna hunker down the corner.
इनको
Loud
देखेंगे
is
ब्रो
gonna work their magic onto GD. Aimbot rushing through, but for the other side here, it's gonna be a massive.
देखना इनको जाएगा मैं
Doing
पड़ा
a lot of magic, but GD pressuring them, and AGL also
AGL
joined in on that fight.
भाई GD का उधर ये दोनों वन में ये गया अब वो GD के ऊपर भी चल गया AGL के पास मस्त जगह है और वो शायद जीत सकते हैं लाउड
AGL spotted them out and they were just tracking them all the way through. And now Gun Dynasty trying to take on the Brazilians, but the interference from the Thai squad. AGL long range away and almost no cover at all except their glue walls. This is going to be trouble if a Skylar is in the hands of either Gun Dynasty or Loud. And they'll quickly take some cover behind the boulder as well as these trees. Great rotation, great defense from the Thai squad.
AGL being very patient here, stuck behind a rock, but definitely not a hard place yet. But now as GD wants to take away this real estate from Loud, cannot do so.
Nice Trap. But GD भी है भाई.
Beautifully played here by Lata.
मुझे लग रहा है ये GD और लाउड की फाइट होगी और AGL की फाइट आएंगे पक्का GD और लाउड की फाइट होगी और AGL निकल जाएंगे भाई
caught in hand, looking for the
Cover.
flank, trying to play a little bit of pressure on AGAL to
तो
take
देखो ना
AGL
ये
out
देखो
of the
यहाँ
equation
से
here
भी वो
with
लोग
all they
AGL
have
को
to
मार
deal
रहे हैं
with
क्योंकि
Brazil.
उनको जोन में आना है ये दोनों
AGL
फाइट नहीं कर रहे
understands
तो
the
लोग
little bit
कितनी
of a phase that
अंडरस्टैंडिंग
they
है
are in, trying to close the distance
ये
down to
दोनों
take the position
बाजू बाजू
advantage
में
away
फिर
from
भी
GD as the circle forces
जीडी
them
वाले को
once
मार
again.
रहे 8 लोग जीडी वाले को एजीएल वाले को मार रहे क्या हार्ड होगा और शील्ड मस्त है जो है भाई हमारे बीजीएमआई में क्या होता है ये शील्ड बनती ही नहीं पर वो भी अच्छा है ये देखो ये इसकी पेयर है ये दोनों मस्त क्या रिवाइव कर दिया इट्स
What a beautiful rotation, man. That's perfection out of Thailand, perfection out of AGAL. But now, how do you deal with this chaos? Gun Dynasty have been pushed outside. They are at a disadvantage at this point of time. But when the circle starts closing on in, it's going to be trouble. Where will the zone move? And trap. What a name.
भाई क्या रोटेट मारा है एजीएल वालों ने यहाँ से जोन घर के अंदर आ गई अब जीडी को जोन बचना है सबसे chaos है bro chaos पूरा chaos भाई मस्त मारा है लाउड ले गई bro मुझे लगा था एजीएल ले गई भाई क्या चीज चल रहा है मुझे लगा है लाउड एजीएल ले गई bro एजीएल में लाउड लगा एजीएल ले गई what a match bro
Gonna be in the
GD
race for the
वाले
top
थोड़ा
3
वो
after a back-to-back performance.
से
We saw them pick up a massive number of eliminations off of Purgatory, and they have gotten in towards that final circle here at Next Terra with the exact same performance. Great play, I have to say, from both teams.
You know what's really impressive about AGL? The fact that
ये कौन
they
सी
finish the game. They're all around the map. We come to them finally after seeing those initial fights. Something like, what? They already have 6 eliminations? Silent but deadly, but definitely loud toward the end as well. It felt like a bait and switch because GD was the one that had a compound, I would say, advantage in the beginning.
Yeah, and this was where it all came crumbling down for AGL.
लाउड वाले चले
They
रोटेशन मार के
took the house as their defensive compound. What they were not expecting was the play out of Gun Dynasty. And the play out of Gun Dynasty wouldn't have been forced if it wasn't for Loud. Loud started tossing those grenades at them. Gun Dynasty had to make a decision, and the only decision they could make was take the fight up against AGAL, and they played that perfect straight at them. And again, I've always mentioned how
AGL है bro
is one of the most lethal
पर
Russians
लाउड ने डोमिनेट कर
and he
दिया
took the fight straight up against them with the Mavxx 7.
नेक्स्ट में टीएजी का कमबैक पक्का है नेक्स्ट में टीएजी कमबैक कर रही है देख लो
It just wasn't enough. AGL stood their ground really well with the defense, but they had to lose 2 players in that sequence as well, and Loud with the advantage just walked away with it towards the end. It's not always about the most aggressive. Sometimes it's about who understands the final circle better.
Yeah, you have the eliminations. You have to find that I would say balance, right?
Yeah.
Between getting to that last few points with those placements, plus also getting those eliminations as well. And AGL has, I would say AGL, Loud, Buram United have really good, I would say, grasp on being able to do all of this coming into the game. I think what's really fun to see as well is just the fact that for AGL, they know how to do the bait and switch, they know how to go for zone control. But I have to say that for Loud, just now, they were just doubling down on that real estate. They know that they had the height advantage. They know that they can just really kind of keep out GD from their area and force GD and AGL to go for that fight, and all they have to do is just clean up house.
Yeah, and it's been very impressive to see this Brazilian squad so far, because yes, it wasn't a very aggressive Purgatory game, but if you look at their positioning placement in all 4 games so far has been phenomenal. We're going to take a quick short break now. When we come back, the final 2 games of the day.
मैं पोल क्रिएट कर सकता हूँ कैसे क्रिएट करते हैं इसमें बोल डाल रहा हूँ, बोल का आंसर तो bro. फिर टॉप 5 4 में डालो.
Break out the drums because Brazil is showing up. 2 booyahs today for Loud, and my gosh, Neptune, this squad is consistent as heck.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, imagine 2 booyahs and 3 times on the top 3 out of 4 games. And this is just something that we don't expect to see, especially in day number 1 out of this kind of competition. Most of the time in this level of competition, there's a lot of stealing of those booyahs. There's a lot of stealing of those numbers as well in terms of elimination. So Loud is just doing quite well in positioning themselves and making sure that they are not out there being gunned down.
Yeah, and of course, Loud is so much better tactically when we compare to the other teams. They have the patience, they have the drive. Again, it's something so refreshing to see. But then again, it's a Brazil team. Are we even that surprised?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Brazil has been one of that contender that has been a bane when it comes to like a battle of Southeast Asia and Brazil and also other regions being introduced. And with the more regions in here being put in the mix, like they have that elements of surprise because the focus would be on the newcomers and they will be most of the target. And we were seeing that bottom leaderboard.
Yeah, we definitely were. I mean, I was going to be looking at the match standings right here. GD being able to put up some points as well. Out of all their squads, AG, how about that with those 27 points?
27 points, 18 elimination points, and I gotta hand it down to Du and Saifa. They're doing so well. This is exactly the teamwork that I actually wanted to see from EVOS Divine because as an Indonesian, of course, I do hope that they can learn from the best. And honestly, I think that game, it really showcased the ability of Du and the capability that he has to lead the team towards victory.
Honestly, I thought AGAL was going to take the booyah in that last match. Their positioning in the bottom of building, I thought, oh, surely they have this. Surely they've got this. But no, of course, you know, Loud's just sitting on top in the way that they were sort of, they're able to accelerate and take more of positioning in the zone. It was exceptional. And I know, Neptune, you got something to say about that, don't you? Like, yeah, let's get loud.
Exactly. I mean, it's more of what they can do in terms of number. Again, getting a booyah will add up for your total. Elimination is at some point at this stage of the competition is even more important because you have to bring that much to pull yourself to the top of the leaderboard, and booyah is something that is reserved for the team, especially with the champion rush condition towards the grand finals.
And I think looking at the overall standing, something that I'm really aware is that it is so scary for EVOS Divine in the very beginning of the competition. I mean, we started off really shaky, but looking at it now, we have 84 points and then 50 kills. That is not bad at all, even though we only have one booyah secured right now. I think what I said at the beginning of the show might come true. I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to keep repeating it, but I do think there's a huge chance for EVOS Divine to maintain this position and actually be, I don't know, the next one to go to the next stage.
And the one thing that we were talking about earlier is that sponge between those teams towards the top, and it's starting to get even more and more. Once we see the overall, you get a chance to see exactly what I'm talking about in regards to those teams at the top, just making an even bigger gap to some of the other squads. Now, one thing I know has been sticking out besides the top squads, right? We got to go to PDX. I mean, I was talking about earlier in regards to tag, that's a squad that needed to be able to step it up. They have since then, since we've mentioned it. I know you were looking at PDX, Lace.
Yeah, see, I'm looking at Paradox, and look, they're not sitting pretty on the top of the leaderboard, okay? You know, we're talking about the Louds and the AGLs. I feel like there's 2 games going on at the moment. We've got like the AGLs, the Louds, EVOS, you know, kind of having their own scuffles in the top of the leaderboard. And when you move further down, the tags, We got Paradox down there. I know Paradox had an accelerating run against Tag, but unfortunately fell like a little bit short in that match there. And it just seems like they're just not making the best decisions for their team. They managed to sort of get split. But when we were looking more into that final zone, Paradox was probably the first time I actually saw them group up and were able to put more eliminations on the board, and that's what we need to see from them. So I don't really know what's happening like in and amongst the early fights and stuff for them, but that was probably the best performance we have seen from them. But they are, you know, not being able to get those eliminations and those placement points on the board.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, the first few games they're not that aggressive in the signature.
Guys, are you ready for match number 5? पांचवा मैच स्टार्ट होने वाला है। ये जी क्या 4 में आएगी?
Like from Africa, they
get
towards the end and getting that qualifier on the EWC, and it's more of the elimination. So this is one thing that we were expecting at get-go. There's a lot of teams who want to show up strong, especially if they are new to this contention. But for gaming, they need time to recover. If that time is running out, because again, that's already 4 games, two more for this group.
Speaking of trying to come off as strong, courageous, again, I think then we gotta add gorgeous and girl. Speaking of courage, of course, we have to also talk about Gun Dynasty again, because finishing at top 3, it's just so amazing. It's making me feel like I need to know more about this LATAM team. I mean, that is just crazy. They are now at the 5th position of the overall standing. 69 points, 20 free plays, and then I'm seeing 46 kills. That is amazing.
He was almost qualified.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, from the first and the last game, and they managed to get 20 plus elimination. It was a little bit slow though on that second game, and towards that third. I think it's because of the challenge they have on that game number 2 or the match number 2. Thus, they didn't get that much on point. But I'm really looking forward to them to catapult themselves a little bit higher in this point right now, because they're very close against Buriram United.
Yes, I'm about to say something that I might regret, but right now, I actually enjoy watching Gun Dynasty more than Buriram United Esports. I enjoy them so
Guys,
much.
subscribe
It's crazy. Like, I found a new love today.
What's making you enjoy it so much? Because remember, Buriram, even though you didn't get a chance to talk about them earlier, they did end up picking up that one booyah.
Yes, they did, but I think it's just about time for Gun Dynasty. I mean, you saw it in the fourth game. They were so amazing. And again, the courage that they have and the strength to back it up, it's just so amazing to see.
I guess the difference between the gameplay of Gun Dynasty is in the beginning of the game, they show up. That's where the hype is coming from. And compared to what we've seen in Buriram United Esports, the signature is you're invisible in the first half, then in the second half, that's where you get multiple elimination. At some point there's a surprise. I'm pretty sure they're counting how many opponents do they have in front of them towards the end. And with 7 or 8 teams against you, you could in numbers, but it's a good thing that they did get that win.
Yeah, and right now we're looking at their squads that they need to wake up, especially when we're going to be going into the final 2 games of Group A. Keep in mind, for everybody watching at home, you're saying, wait, final 2 games? No, we still got 6 more from Group B coming up. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But I mean, from some of the other squads that we're watching, we saw the Pakistan team, right? They're towards the bottom. They need to do something, because right now, the top 4 squads, the cutoff is at 70 points. And that's not going to stop. That's just going to keep going because of the consistency, Conchita, that we're currently seeing out of their squads. What can we see out of those bottom squads in the last 2 matches? Because they need to wake up.
Yes, they do need to wake up. Unfortunately, I'm not really familiar with the way the Pakistani teams play, but what I see from their performance today is that there's capability that apparently they still have and that is something that I hope they can catch up as soon as possible, because obviously being on the bottom 2 is not so ideal. Looking at it, it's still quite a climb that they need to do, but yeah, keeping my fingers crossed.
And then you have Aurora.
Let's go, guys. Are you excited? Match number 5 start होने वाला है. बस TAG को bottom 5 में नहीं आना.
You can talk about them, but just don't mention their name. From that squad, I mean, you were
sorry.
talking about having eliminations
Bottom
earlier
two
on.
में
They only have
बाकी चलेगा
19
कुछ
eliminations so far. We've seen squads being able to get almost that in just one
देखो
match.
players ready हो चुके हैं
Our game is finding right now. It's a balance of because they failed in the first game. Yeah, I mean,
It's okay.
I'm thinking it's my fault, but they failed in the first few games. But since they couldn't bring the elimination, they couldn't bring the fire, so they're going back to the basic. Go for
कोई
survivability.
बंदे को इंटरेस्ट नहीं हो रहा उसको मेल दिखाता हूँ मैं EWC का मेल
That's
दिखाता
why
हूँ
they're trying something different. Just go and try a catch up, or go for catch up on the placement point. Once they get the groove of how to find the final circle, then they can get those elimination.
Yeah, what I've been noticing is that every time they go into an altercation or try to take a fight, they come out as the losing team. It's down to one player, then they're going to have to make that revive and try and do that. So I do believe that, yeah, if they can continue that survivability, because eliminations will come in the end, okay? As long as you can make your return, you get to that final zone, the elims will come. So hopefully we can see that sort of progress into the next games, because they slightly started doing it in that final match, but the first couple of matches, every time I saw Aurora fight, it was not working for them. So they definitely need to adapt and change, because mechanically they're gifted, but they're not making these decisions correctly.
Yeah, I so agree, because individually they're great players, but somehow when it comes to the teamwork, something just isn't working. There is something that they not to change. I mean, it's like someone needs to step up, I guess, and be the role model for them. Yeah. No.
I might step out.
I'm sorry, man. I'm going to target you for this one. Yeah.
No need to do that. I mean, in regards to eliminations, one squad that has been stepping up is Team Apex Gaming. They have been able to put up those elims. At the beginning of the day, they were struggling a lot. Even Lucifer, one of our casters, is going to be coming for Group B. He was saying they're slow starters. He was actually expecting them to do better in the second day. Yeah. But you can't be mad. Honestly, Neptune, you cannot be mad at the way that this squad has now been able to put up those eliminations.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's more of elimination geared.
It's the complete opposite, right?
Complete opposite of what we're going for earlier. Like placement point, they like no regards of placement point. All they have to do is early on the get-go, they want to get all those eliminations in, and at some point for teams, they're treating it as a 50-50. Like it's a double-edged sword. But for Team Apex Gaming, they want to bring down the sword against the opponent. Whether they lose, I think they can carry over those eliminations in the following round. The risk is they're losing the balance.
Page number 5
and there's still a bonus of that player, probably not this page, this point of the stage, but if you're really catching up in numbers, you have to do well on both.
Yeah, because 29 elimination points is not bad at all. I mean, from what we see out of the 4th games that we have just watched, Apex really is trying to fix the mistake they have on the first game. And yeah, I think things
Team
are
Apex
quite looking up for them right now.
You can see they got fans
ये देखो
right now.
fans आ गए TAG को support करने.
From Paris, this is Free Fire
This is
at
insane.
EWC. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going into the last 2 matches of Group A. Can those bottom squads step it up like we've been wanting to see? Or is it just going to be too little, too late in this last 2 matches before we go into tomorrow? AJ, Tash Bunny, take it away.
Thank you very much, Seven. Man, it has been an exciting one here for sure. We expected Nextera to deliver, and Nextera did exactly that. 121 eliminations in that lobby. It was explosive end to end. But now we head on into Kalahari. We head on into the map where the snipers usually rule. Let's see exactly which sniper stands tall by the end of this.
It's always very fun, right? I think we've already kind of pinpointed which players we want to see.
Yeah.
We saw it coming in from Moshi. We saw it coming in from Rasha as well. Some of the 2 hard hitters.
8 second story डाल रहा हूँ.
And now that this is actually our first Kalahari of the day, I'm wondering if it's going to be a slower start, or will the momentum of that fast, aggressive starts keep going all the way till the very end of this Group A day?
Demon's Pride currently at the very bottom of our leaderboard. Not in the right spot, if you ask me. Taking the fight up early at Refinery against Loud. AGL Cypher being cheeky as well to check out exactly what's going on at Refinery. So that shows a potential intention of AGL wanting to rotate in towards this high platform later on. DRS, Team Apex Gaming, Tech. This is going to be a tad bit crowded. Command post. only usually has one team commanding it. This time you've got 3 vying for that spot.
You know, looking at the most damage and also most elims as well, right? You're seeing a majority of the players coming in for, I think, most eliminations. I think on top of Russia, you also have both Dew and Cypher as well, which actually sets a precedent on how aggressive and how much
हिंदी लगाते पर ऐसा है कि हिंदी क्या है परमिशन नहीं मिली ब्रो हिंदी वॉच पार्टी की हमें परमिशन नहीं मिली है वो फर्स्ट मिनट स्टार्ट हो गया 2 मिनट
Giving Blade the extra advantage in that battle. Sailjar's finally going to show up. And that's just the wrong timing. He drops a little bit of a present here for Tech as he quickly tries to back away. But a quick recap here as well for Demon Sprite up against Loud earlier on. The time turner actually saving BZP a little bit of extra time, but Jazzy only could get that knock off of that engagement, sending top 16 running away from the compound. Demon Sprite again starting off on the back foot here, but the recovery was solid through those revives.
TEC just now looks like they had the upper hand in that fight, and now DRS has decided to join in on this fight. And DRS has been scary today in terms of positioning and inside here. And that will be the first one to fall as the rest of TEC waits in the wings. Nejat as well will be picked off somewhere else, and now Buram United also here joining in that fight. It is
TEC वाले 2 गए ब्रो
post as well as Moshi finally finds a final nail in the coffin to a member of TEC.
Yeah, if command post wasn't already crowded, here comes Buriram jumping into the fray as well, looking to be the third party in the situation. DRS gonna shut down the remaining players on the side of TEC one after the other, but Buriram, as mentioned, is still in here. Locked down by the thrill of battle now. Takuri, big advantage. But it looks like he's not going to be able to walk away from much. Pratik knocked down once again. And the recovery is going to be slow here from the side of DRS as they continuously are pressured by Buriram. Jonah finds him with the VSK and Strowex far away from the rest of the battle. But will Buriram be able to snuff him out? He's got the stealth bites, which is about to run out. And he gets away in the nick of time.
रुको लाउड के ऊपर चढ़ रहे हैं भाई DRS भाई क्या झंडा लगाते हैं लोग बहुत बड़े बड़े
And Barrows as well. Oh no, he is the one to go down here.
हिंदी वाला नहीं लगा तो चिल पर यस TAG on top TAG on top
finally by G.
It's
just such an unlucky situation as Shiro quickly brought back into the game in this situation. And I think that in so many of these fights as well, we see one team having the upper hand situation, and then suddenly the rest of the clubs coming in from so many teams. We see a systematic way
BGM में ये PUBG में सॉरी BGM में बोल रहा हूँ PUBG बोलना चाहिए AWC है तो ये PUBG में सबसे नहीं
Yeah, but Nell is definitely one of the super
players
now
open.
He is the
सिटी वाला इधर है ये किधर ये देखो ना
just showing everyone that they're just not here to fill up a slot, they are here to rip away the championship.
इसमें चल के रोटेशन मारनी पड़ती है भाई मैप्स छोटे होते हैं ए नहीं तोड़ना नहीं चाहिए भाई फ्री फायर को मार देंगे फ्री फायर
but it looks like at Bayfront we've got a little bit more of a tense situation as 2 Southeast Asian squads take on each other in a battle. Falcons versus EVOS Divine.
EVOS Divine in this situation, you just gotta wait things out. You just gotta find a window of opportunity to bring your team back into the game. I'm not too sure if Aim God is being marked right now is the question. Because there hasn't been too much from the rest of the teams as well. Now, you look at TEC, they've come back into the game. It started off really well for them in the early fights, but then the collapse coming in. I think the possibility of third parties today have been incredible for so many teams. You see it happening from so many different angles. And for Falcons, they want to try and take this fight against TAG.
A crucial rotation here from Aim God. Looking to bring the squad.
भाई वो वाला एक ही बंदा होता TAG भी तो कहाँ रिकॉल करने की भाई ये फाल्कन वाले चल फाल्कन में TAG की अलग ही फाइट चलती रहती है भाई ये देखो तो ये भाई क्या मस्त मारा है प्रेस करके वो भाई अकेला बंदा बाकी है क्या? फाल्कन्स वाले ने क्या दे दिया? ये देखो ये कैसे भाग गया, कितना अब वो रही क्या क्या रिकॉल कर वेंडिंग मशीन में जाके रिकॉल करना पड़ता है, समझे? ये देखो कैटेगरी चाह रहा है वेंडिंग मशीन ढूंढना, वहां से वो तीनों को रिकॉल कर सकता है। ये सिस्टम है। यहाँ से जंप करके यहाँ आ गया, अब इसके पीछे आ गया, इसको पूरा एंगल है पीछे वाले का। ये देखो भाई ऊपर वाले को मारेगा अब। यहाँ वन टैप मारा देखो। ओह पेन मार दिया, उसका टीममेट आया मारने, पेन मार दिया। वो देखो ये देखो राहत वर्सेस ब्लेंसी, वो थर्ड पार्टी आ रही है, ये देखो उसके पास ये दोनों का एंगल है। उसने देख लिया उसको, इसलिए वो बंदे ने डिसएंगेज कर दिया। राहत भाई ये देखो वो एगल का भरोसा आ गया ना, तो ये सब ने डिसएंगेज कर दिया क्योंकि थर्ड पार्टी भी हो सकती है। वो ये देखो ये झूले झूल रहे झूले झूल रहे फाल्कन्स वर्सेस टीएजी, अलग ही कनेक्शन है ये दोनों का, लव स्टोरी है दोनों की। फाल्कन्स वाले निकाल दो बस इधर से। ये देखो ये इसके पास एडवांटेज है, कवर दे सकता है। क्या मार फाल्कन ने मस्त मारा, फाल्कन वाले ने मस्त दे दिया। ये देखो क्या उड़ उड़ के कहीं से भी आ रहे हैं, अलग। वाह गुरु कैरेरो ने क्या दिया है भाई, वापस सोटो अकेला बच्चा। ये देखो ये बुली कर रही है, ये दोनों है ना बुली कर रहे हैं। भाई इनको अगेन रिकॉल मिलेगा क्या? शायद मिल सकता। ये जी एक बार नॉकआउट हो गए प्रियांशु सर, क्या हाल है? बिग फैन सर, बिग फैन प्रियांशु सर, बिग फैन सर। क्या पिन मार दिया आपने? आप लाइक करें, सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिए। ये देख लिया सर, प्रियांशु सर आप बिग फैन। ये देखो ना बुरे राम है, ये क्या नाम है? बुरे राम सर आपको प्रियांशु भाई, प्रियांशु सर मुझे वो 0 to हीरो में मैं प्रमोशन नहीं कर सकता, मना किया है EWC वालों ने, सॉरी। वो मेल में लिखा था कि आप प्रमोट नहीं कर सकते, किसी को बैन कर देंगे। और वो जो आपने स्टार्ट किया ना उसमें मुझे एंट्री लेनी है, मिल जाएगी। पीना नाम देखो, फाल्कन है ये, फाल्कन का पीना है। चारों बंदे जोन जाना। ये क्या मशीन है? यहाँ से उड़ के जाएंगे क्या? प्रियांशु सर लाइक कर दो, इनको लाइक कर दो। आभार। एक और सब्सक्राइबर बढ़ गया सर। की हाल चाल है? और
the champions of EWC 24, or will they get punished instead? The battle between Buriram and AJL still continues.
बूढ़ेराम और AJL, क्या मैं सही पढ़ रहा हूँ? मुझे करेक्ट करते ना ब्रो। भाई जंप क्या करते हैं ये लोग? इसके पास वायर गिटार है,
launcher to get themselves out of that sticky situation.
TJG का एक अकेला बंदा वापस बचा है तो वो वापस रिवाइव कर दिया कितनी बार रिवाइव कर सकते हैं भाई वो तो बताओ तीसरी बार शायद रिवाइव हुए वो तीनों मतलब 6 किल उन्होंने दे दिए 6 फिनिशेस जो भी बोलते हो मुझे आइडिया नहीं है TJG ने 6 फिनिशेस दे दिए क्या वापस कमबैक कर ये देखो इसके पास क्या व्यू है भाई ये उसको इन तीनों का इन्फो है पीछे कोई पूरा इन्फो है लाउड के पास अभी भाई क्या एंगल है किसी को इसकी आइडिया ही नहीं है ये मस्त मारेगा ऊपर से अगर जोन बनाता तो गया है आप लोगों ने मेरी प्रेडिक्शन देखी थी लास्ट पर भाई क्या मस्त मारता है
Loud definitely has
Most
the
one.
advantage for this next circle. And Southeast Asia battling each other to find the next
एक गियर वर्सेस TJG हो सकता है वापस उफ साइड से शॉट्स आते हैं साइड से वो गया TJG ने मारा क्या मेरा ध्यान नहीं था कौन आ अच्छा TJG थर्ड पार्टी कर सकती है GD अरोरा इवोस कितने लोग आ गए तो मस्त चल रही है फाइट इसमें से आप गाइस आपको पता ना तो बता दूं टॉप 4 टीम है ना वो सीधा ग्रैंड फाइनल्स जाएगी लास्ट बॉटम टू एलिमिनेट होगी और बाकी बची वो सर्वाइवल खेलेगी ये ग्रुप ए चल रहा है ग्रुप ए और कुछ डाउट हो तो बता देना चैट हीरो पेरिस में चल रहा है ये $75 million नो $75 million क्या है नेक्स्ट लेवल स्पोर्ट्स चल रहा है ये बॉस भाई टीसी के पास मस्त है भाई ड्रोन से आ रहा है क्या ये ड्रोन को डैमेज कर रहा है क्या हो रहा है ये कोई मुझे बताएगा लाउड और पे चल रही है पर ये इवोस मार सकते हैं यहाँ से चिल्डी भी मार सकती है पर इसमें रिवाइव इंस्टेंट है 3 सेकंड और अगर वो पावर है ना तो 1 सेकंड में रिवाइव हो जाता है वो इंसेंट चीज है ये स्प्लिट है 3-1 का यहाँ से ये पूरा स्नाइपर से देख रहा है ये दोनों होल्ड मार रही थी इनको टीसी का आइडिया नहीं है ये इसको मार सकता है फाल्कन ओपन्स में चले गए फाल्कन्स भाई वापस तीसरी बार TJG वर्सेस फाल्कन्स हो रहा है भाई क्या मार रहे हैं भाई क्या कवर्स बना दिए TJG वालों ने तो तीसरी बार हो रहा है फाल्कन्स 2 पे TJG 0 पे अभी ये मैच में तो ये क्या पीछे से मार रहा है ये देखो GD वाले मजे ले गए GD वाले मजे ले गए ये बोले वो अंदर बिल्ली वाला नहीं था बिल्ली मजे ले जाती है वैसा है ये GD वाले मजे ले रहे ऊपर से भाई
Gun Dynasty the biggest winner in that equation. And Team Apex Gaming, they survive.
TJG वाले मजे ले रहे ऊपर से
Falcons. Not somehow, that's how. Beautiful play.
Sorry, TJG नहीं GD वाले.
And Gun Dynasty doesn't care exactly who's in front of them. They just won these points.
भाई एक नॉक हो गया GD वाले आ गए बस कर दिया एलिमिनेट हो गए TJG एलिमिनेट हो गई कोई ये देखो 83 86 ये GLY मार रही है
They have such good timing and such insane awareness.
Must,
now AGL,
must,
because
must
they're on the lower
celebrate.
side here, they have to wait through for this first fight to happen.
कुछ
And finally,
नहीं।
the stalemate is broken. DP now
कोई भी
in
जीत
the
सकता
open
है।
out and just fighting.
पर ये
PDX as well in the same situation. Top 16,
सोचो
61 already.
This is not a equal
स्काई डे
battle.
नहीं स्काई डे नहीं
Outgunned here by
ये
Gun
किसी
Dynasty.
को
The
स्काई
only
डे नहीं
difference maker is
स्काई
going to
डे
be the
नहीं
ambush by AGAL. They take the timing right. But now, super low. It's the lightning zone that gives them the extra bit of advantage
क्या
as
मार
well. And EVOS has showed up
ये
out
हिल
of
बैटल कर
nowhere.
रहा है
And Gun Dynasty, like the
जोन से गया
third-party
एक हिल ने मार दिया ये किसका है बताएं वो लाउड जोन से जाएगी टीपी जोन से जाएगी ब्रू सेना को भी जाना ब्रू वाले को भी जाना है मुझे लग रहा है ये वापस एचईएल का है एचईएल है पक्का भाई क्या जोन के बाहर जा के मार रहा ब्रू जीत गया इस जोन से भाई क्या मारते हैं ये ब्रू वाले गए क्या फास्ट गेम है एचईएल का है पक्का एचईएल है ब्रो एचईएल है ब्रो एचईएल है ब्रो ब्रू वर्सेस एचईएल होगा दोनों के चार करते हैं दोनों के 4 बनते हैं एचईएल वाले ले जाएंगे मुझे लग रहा है एचईएल भाई मस्त
in this final circle up against Gun Dynasty that stands no chance because of their numbers.
Yeah, GD only one player alive, not for long, but now will go down next year. And AGL on fire, crushes through here, kept away by those blue walls. Moshi almost getting clipped, finally does, goes down to Baros, and he's not done quite yet. Cypher finding great angles and positions here as Jonah pulling the damage from far away.
ब्रू जोन बाहर या क्या मस्त मारा है सैफा ने मस्त मारा है वो क्या हो गया 1v1 है क्या 1v1 भाई वो मुझे लास्ट लगा एचईएल ले जाएगी और ब्रू ने मस्त किया
Late to the party, but biggest on the numbers as they break the record set by AGAL.
Record breaking and second booyah of the day. This team feels unstoppable. There's just so many things happening right now, but they're so, I would say, aware on how the
AGL का था पर ब्रू
how
ने
the
अच्छा खेल
movement
दिया
is going to be, and somehow they
मुझे लगा
managed to
AGL
find that
जाएगी
last crucial kill at the very last possible timing.
It was Buriram that set the record for the highest points at Purgatory. 15 eliminations plus the booyah. But they got matched up with that. Problem was at Nextera, AGAL just could not walk away with the booyah. It was Loud that ruined the uplands, walking away with the second booyah of the day for Brazil. And kept them from breaking the record
Brazil
of
की टीम
Buriram.
है
And Buriram showed
Buriram
exactly why
ये क्या ना
Tom World Champs. Phenomenal play.
Buriram
Check out these
क्या
replays
मैं
as
सही
well.
बोल रहा
As Buriram
भाई
pulled off that final
ये जो
battle
स्टक हुआ ना ये बंदा अभी
Honestly, I think that what's
ये
really
स्टक ना हुआ
exciting
था
about this particular match was not just
तो ये
about
इनका
United,
टीम था
but I think it's just more of like how they decided to just really double down.
पर
on
इसने
fighting.
मस्त
Usually
वहाँ
it's
से
somewhat quiet by them
जम
early,
कर
right?
इधर आ
But
गया
this time
वो
around,
पूरे
they
राम
feel like
वाले
they're starting to just
बंदे
get
ने
into the
वो
groove. They're starting to really
क्या बोलते
feel
एचईएल वाले
themselves
ने
in this fight.
एक्सपेक्ट नहीं
Position-wise,
किया था ये
also
जम
really good as well.
इसीलिए
So much control of that high ground.
ये देखना ये आया ना इसने ये जम किया ना तो ये जम अभी वो एक्सपेक्ट नहीं किया था
This guy is one of the most lethal supports out there on the battlefield,
अच्छा खेल किया
hands down. And when you've got a support player who
बोलो
can annihilate
क्या
squads,
है
you really don't need to worry in a situation like that. A good reason why Buriram sets the record is because they are no strangers to it.
Yeah, I think it's also really exciting to think about how, you know, Buriram United approaches this game. Sometimes they're going a little bit more slow. They have a lot of pages in their playbook as well coming into this game. But I am really surprised at how, I would say, aggressive so many of these teams are starting from that get-go. I think everyone's starting to get really confident coming to the game. Even TEC, I would say, had a little bit more spark in them compared to the beginning of the day.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been a great day for TEC. Managing to play a little bit of recovery on Kalahari was crucial for them, but you know, it's just gonna be enough to get them out of the danger zone, not permanently just yet, because they've spent too much of time down in the bottom two. Now, we have got a little bit of a remake here for the casting desk. We are going to throw you guys on to a bit of a break. We'll catch up with you guys in a bit for Game 6 later, the final one for Group A.
OBS bot official webcam Evo Esports World Cup. सही है.
What's up, everyone? Carol Bombshell here. I know you guys are having so much fun watching Free Fire, but there is a lot more going on here
Yes,
at
we are having fun.
in Paris. So come with me, let's check this out. Let's go.
Let's go. चलो क्या बताते हैं ये दीदी.
No problem. There is a lot of options here at the
देखो
official store.
बिना कपड़ों के आना है क्या?
Socks, teddy bears, even heads. Oh, you
क्या
can
बोल
customize
रहे?
with your own name. Yes, there is a bunch of options here. What about
मेरे नाम की टीम मुझे मर्चेंडाइज मिल जाएगी.
problem? There's another options here, another teams that you can cheer for. Okay, guys, I'm so sorry. We gotta cut this right now because I'm gonna customize my own t-shirt. Bye.
Okay.
Lots of fun activations here, like in Lenovo stand. You can
इंस्टेंट यहाँ पहुँच गई.
also you can do some
दीदी के पास टेलीपोर्ट सिस्टम है bro. मैं बोल रहा हूँ ये दीदी के पास टेलीपोर्ट है. ये देखो.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to help you. Oh. Maybe I should get in the line because we
हेल्प बोल के उसका गिरा दिया. उसकी गेम बिगाड़ दी. हेल्प बोल के.
Wow, we are in the middle of it all. The heart of AWC.
मैं बोल रहा हूँ इनके पास टेलीपोर्ट है. इनके पास पावर है
The
टेलीपोर्ट का.
most important stage for you. Stage 3, stage 4. Oh my gosh. Oh, did you notice Team Vitality? It's your favorite team, so come and drink a coffee with them.
My favorite team is SCTR.
No problem.
TAG.
We got Kidia City right
And
here with a lot of fun activations,
T.
interactions for you to have fun the whole day.
My
And you know
favorite
what?
team is
If
Team
you are in the
India.
area, you gotta to be mad to not to come here. So I'm waiting for you. See you soon.
And what an insane last match that
भाई,
was.
last
I
match
feel
चल रहा
like
है.
that was probably the most chaotic
Last
zone
match चल
that
रहा
we
है.
have had in these games today. I don't understand really what went on in these first original matches to then pop out with this. It's like all the teams switched on. Did any stand out to you?
Lace, what we just saw is actually a classic battle between Buriram United Esports and of course AGAL. We are practically seeing history repeat itself again
मुझे
and again
तो
and
पक्का
again.
लग रहा है
And
लाउड
it was so
जाएगी.
amazing to see Get High finally came out as the winner because
ईडी का
boy,
जा
that was
सकती है.
intense. I
एक
am
ही
so
हम
giddy
पूरी
inside.
वो
I'm so excited.
चार मेरी
And it's
प्लेट्स.
only the fifth
वो
game
चार
of the
चार
day. We
ही
still
है.
have one more game from
मानना
the
मानो
A
ना
group.
ना ना.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen
ये
obviously
जी को थोड़ा
AGL dominating at the time, but it's nice to see these sort of other teams take
कोई ना
over in the mix. But I think if we sort of
इंटरनेशनल
go
जाके
back to
फाड़
that
रहे
game
ब्रो.
zone there, I feel like
इंटरनेशनल
these players are switching on,
Top
and they're like, you know what,
टीम्स
we kind
ये
of didn't
ग्रुप
do
है.
you know, that great in these first couple of
मैं
matches,
बता
and
दूँ
now
अभी
we
कल
all need to
ग्रुप
turn up.
भी
I know we
होगा
talk about
और
the
परसों
game,
ग्रुप
you know,
सी
with
शायद
game
यही
5
से
coming up now, but
कल
like,
वापस
it's
आ
a little
जाएंगे
bit
हम
too late.
1
Is
बजे.
there a particular team that you
क्या
felt
हाल
in
है
that game zone? I
मित्र
know I did.
सोमवार
I
क्या हाल है.
Paradox, where I said they need to get
भाई
better
कुछ
placement
नहीं
points. They
फ्री
need to
फायर
turn
की
up,
वॉच
and they
पार्टी
were
कर
actually in
रहे
that position in that final zone.
Yes, but also if you talk about
हैं.
the
आप
Southeast
बताओ
Asian games,
आपका क्या हाल है.
I honestly think that
भाई
they
5
are
मैच
kind
खत्म
of
हुए.
dominating the
जोनाथन
opponents
की टीएजी थी
throughout
ना.
the whole entire day.
वो
And
उसने
it was so
थर्ड मैच
refreshing
में
to see
मस्त
because
मारा.
usually
थर्ड
we
या
see
फोर्थ
that
मैच में भाई
happening from the Brazilian
इन वालों
team.
को दे
Yes,
दिया.
I mean Loud has been amazing.
भी
Loud has
थोड़ा
been
इश्यू चल
very
रहा है.
powerful,
लास्ट 2
but
मैच से
then again,
फाल्कन वाले ने
it is the
नहीं
time for the Southeast Asia to
2-1
really
मारा
show
फाल्कन
the
वालों को.
world what they are made of, and that's exactly what they've
3
been
बार
doing. I mean,
क्लिच
I'm so
हुआ
proud to
लास्ट
see
मैच में.
my boys killing it out there.
टीएजी
And
वर्सेस फुटबॉल एससीटीएल का मैच है. नहीं ब्रो ईडब्ल्यूसी में सबकी वॉच पार्टी है. मैं किस किस की वॉच पार्टी कर रहा हूँ बताता हूँ रुको. एक सेकंड. चेस और एपेक्स लेजेंड खत्म हो गए. फ्री फायर चल रहा है. ये स्पोर्ट्स खत्म हो गया. ऑनर ऑफ किंग्स लीग ऑफ लेजेंड्स भी चल रहा है. फिर मैं पबजी के और पबजी पीसी और पबजी मोबाइल टेकन 8 ट्रैकमेनिया और वेलोरेंट ये सब की वॉच पार्टी करना है. वेलोरेंट शायद खत्म हो गया है. तो पबजी में ओजी और गोल्ड लाइक है तो उसको सपोर्ट करेंगे. तो पबजी मोबाइल में तो उसको टाइम है शायद उसका शेड्यूल बताते हैं. पबजी मोबाइल
first match is something that I feel like these other teams need to follow suit because,
एक मिनट
yeah,
हाँ
consider me and color me
दो
impressed
मिनट
because I'm a
PUBG
Banal fan now. I don't know about you.
PUBG PC ना PUBG PC भी करेंगे पर PUBG PC देखते हैं कौन सी डेट दोनों की है
It was so amazing at the
ये
same,
होते
so
वो कर
refreshing
लेंगे
to see
उसका
Banal.
भी
I mean, I said I just found a new love, and I think you felt
हाँ
it
भाई
too. But then again, looking at the
चलिए
overall
ये रहा
standing, AGAL, oh
Free
my
Fire
god,
League of Legends
109 points, 70 elimination points. That is so amazing, and that is something that I'm so excited to see at the opening of EWC 2026. And of course, if we're talking about the top 5, we have
ये रहा
Buriram United Esports,
PUBG Mobile 6 अगस्त है 16 अगस्त चलेगा
Snickers. That is, oh my god, that is
और
what I expected.
PUBG PC जुलाई में 21 जुलाई से 26 जुलाई तक तो वो कर देंगे PUBG PC भी करेंगे अपन हाँ PUBG PC कर लेंगे
Man, I tell you, the day has been looking super
गाइस
solid.
कभी सोचा नहीं था ये WC स्पोर्ट्स पार्टी करने का मौका मिल जाए
Walk away from
पर
Kalahari with double-digit eliminations.
EWC वालों ने परमिशन दे दी है
They did walk away with a double-digit elimination, which, by the way, was only 4 squads.
Yeah.
Walked away with a ton of.
भाई एक साथ कितनी टीम गिर गई है देखो
From Buriram, 8
भाई देख रहा है ना ये जी किसकी है जोनाथन की है
with the 15 and Loud walking it with just.
जोनाथन
Yeah, but that's still quite a lot for the squad because they're
And
obviously looking
change
to
करना
maintain their
पड़ता है
dominance on the leaderboard.
ये देखो ये क्या स्प्लिट मारा है THG वालों ने 2-1-1 BGMI में स्प्लिट देखा था मैंने
Gun Dynasty has been amazing today.
ये क्या है फ्री फायर में भी स्प्लिट्स मारते हैं लोग इसमें ज्यादा क्लोज होंगे ना तो फाइट्स अच्छी निकलती है क्योंकि 8 सेकंड में रिवाइव है तो हम तुझे पता है 8 सेकंड में रिवाइव हो जाते हैं एक वो कोई एबिलिटी स्किल है तुझे तो पता ही होगा ना कि तो खेलता था
But as we spot out the map here, it
भाई
looks like
तुरंत
we
सीट्स बना
get
देते हैं
some
लोग
discipline, we get some quiet out
PUBG
there.
PC खेलते हैं चलो खेलते हैं PC खरीदना PC बनाना है मुझे वो क्या GTA 5 GTA वो क्या बोलते हैं रोल प्ले RP खेलना GTA RP खेल रहे PC बनाते हैं पूरा रुक जा PC बनाने के बाद GTA RP करेंगे साथ में
It's always very fun to
और
see
PUBG
these things
PC भी
happening, and
खेलते हैं
again, you know how aggressive this map has been.
PC में थोड़ा गेमिंग का इश्यू है मेरा गेम प्ले का ब्रो ओपन में क्या कर रहा था ये ओपन में ले लिया अब दूसरा भी जाएगा 1 HP है कमबैक मार दिया तो मैं देख मान जाऊंगा ब्रो ईवोस के सामने नहीं मार सकता 2 लोग थे ब्रो गन भी वेक्टर ही थी GTA 6 खेलेंगे RP भी करेंगे ये DP वाले क्या कर रहे थे ओपन में ईवोस के सामने ब्रो लाइक करो GTA 6 खेल रहे GTA 6 पक्का खेलेंगे अभी रजिस्टर भी कर देते हैं
Their best so far hasn't been good
ईवोस वाले मस्त खेलते पता है ईवोस लाउड मस्ती में इनकी गुरु वाले और लास्ट चिकन मार दिया जीटी लाउड वाले पता नहीं अच्छा खेल रहे थे 5th आ गए फाल्कन भी अच्छा फाल्कन चैंपियंस थी 2024 तारी बेनी तू PUBG PC भी कब खेलता है तूने कब PUBG PC खेल दिया ब्रो 2 की केडी थी तेरी
Yes, but you're just giving up so many points to EVOS right now. But also at the same time,
इनका पीछा कर रहे देखो इनको चेस कर रहे हैं भाई टॉप ने 2 बंदे मार दिए ना मान जाऊंगा नहीं मारता था ब्रो पीछा क्योंकि सोच इसमें रिकॉल तुरंत हो सकते हो अगर कहीं अब हमारे PUBG में क्या है वो शॉप होती है ना इसमें ये वेंडिंग मशीन होता है वहां पे जाके आप रिकॉल कर सकते हो रिकॉल परचेस करके ऐसा कुछ तो है अच्छा है वो अरोरा है ये अरोरा
But DRS out early though. This is not what I was expecting.
DRS कितनी जल्दी एलिमिनेट हो गई ब्रो.
Solid 4 points from the Nepali squad.
Yeah, I think that feels like DRS
नहीं जल्दी एलिमिनेट एक्सपेक्ट नहीं
just a
किया.
little bit as well. They didn't get the deeper run that we saw
सॉन्ग
at the
भाई
beginning of
क्या
the
हाल है
game
बताओ.
of this team.
आजकल दिखाई नहीं दे रहे. BGMI में. वेकेशन चालू करी है ना फिर हम तो वेकेशन में चालू करी. तो कौन से पीसी में तेरा लैपटॉप है उसमें? अरोरा चेस करके मारती है। देखो ये यहाँ से ये दोनों की फाइट होगी, लाउड और टीएजी, ठीक है। ये वो थर्ड पार्टी की टीएजी वर्सेस ईवोस, पहली बार टीएजी वर्सेस फाल्कन नहीं हो रहा है ये मैच में, और टीएजी वर्सेस ईवोस भाई शील्ड बना दिया, कूद गया भाई। ईवोस मस्त स्क्वाड है, टीएजी जीत गई है। यस सर, ठीक है भाई। पबजी पीसी खेलते हैं फिर, मुझे भी बहुत इच्छा है। ये टीएजी ले जाएगी क्या? ओह रे टीएजी, ये देखना वन टैप मारेगा, मुझे लगा मार देगा। ब्रो ये क्या कर रहे हैं? मुझे लगा मार देगा, 1v2 कर देगा। वन ये टी साहिल भाई, वेंडिंग मशीन कहाँ है? अच्छा वह साहिल के पास ही है वेंडिंग मशीन। ये वोल्ट टोल रहा है, दूसरा बना रहा है। वो भाई क्या मार दिया, देखा? वो डाउन हो गए। चौथा बंदा कहाँ है टीएजी का? चौथा बंदा कहाँ है रिकॉल देने के लिए? वेंडिंग मशीन के पास होना चाहिए ना। ओ ये कहाँ, यहाँ से उधर चला गया, इधर था, इधर चला गया। देखो टीएजी बुलबुल, इसने रिकॉल दिया। ईगो इसका चौथा बंदा भी रिकॉल हो गया। अरोरा देखो, इसमें रोटेशन चल के कर सकते हैं ब्रो। अगर किसने गोली मारी सीड बना लो, कितना इजी है। इजी नहीं है, मैं बोलने में इजी है पर इजी तो है। सिर्फ वन टैप हेड पे मार, ये देखो शील्ड बना ली उसने। चल कर रोटेशन मार सकते हो, कार के मैच की झंझट ही नहीं है। मस्त है ये, मुझे लगा कि पैर पे मारी गोली यार। फाल्कन ऑन फायर नाम रख दिया, फाल्कन ऑन फायर। देख रहे हो ये देखो जोन प्रिडिक्शन देखना मेरा, देखो जोन ये मेरा कर्सर देखना, ये कर्सर दिख रहा है, ये बनेगा जोन, ये जोन है, ये बनेगा जोन, ये जोन है देखना। मेरी प्रेडिक्शन देखो आप बस, देखा ये रहा ऊपर, मैंने बोला था ना ऊपर जोन आएगा, ऊपर जोन आ गया। ये रहा ये। सो हम सर लाइक करो, आपकी लाइक्स नहीं आई अभी तक, लाइक नहीं है। आईजीएल कहते हैं। भाई इसमें रिकॉल का सिस्टम है कि नहीं है वो तो बताओ भाई। तो हम सच बता रहा हूँ, लास्ट दो में था ना, उसमें मैंने जोन प्रेडिक्ट किया था भाई, सेम इधर ही जोन बना। फ्री फायर में मैं खा सकता हूँ ना AWC, फ्री फायर में वैसा कोई इश्यू नहीं है। 10% तो कवर हुआ ना, मैं एज दिला दूंगा, एज फाइट लेते हैं हम लोग, पता है तुझे तो। ओ भाई पिस्तौल से मार रहा है, ओ शील्ड तोड़ दी ब्रो। भाई टीएजी का शॉट और अकेला बच्चा है, टीएजी को कमबैक करना है, उसके 2 एलिमिनेशन है देखो। तो रिकॉल कर देगा क्या भाई? ये लोग 3 बार रिकॉल हो सकते हैं भाई, कोई लिमिट ही नहीं है। कितनी बार रिकॉल हो जाए, ये क्या बात हुई? तुझे पता तो है हम एज टू एज खेलते हैं, पूरा क्लियर करो फिर अंदर जाओ, डायरेक्ट सेंटर नहीं स्कैम करना कभी भी। आओ मानसिलेन डिफेंड भाई। फाल्कन की फाइट नहीं हुई इस बार, ये जैसे फाल्कन की फाइट नहीं हुई। ये देखो फाल्कन के पास मस्त लोकेशन, मस्त उसके उड़ के आ रहे हैं। जीडी वर्सेस फाल्कन, जीडी वाला ये अकेला है, वो उधर चला जाएगा, वो कवर दे रहा है, देखो रूह क्या मार दिया, देखो दूसरा खत्म, वाले दो गए, रिकॉल से अपन एनिमेशन નથી કાઈ, हाँ एनिमेशन નથી पर ऊपर से जब वो ऊपर से जंप करता है कभी कभी दिख जाता है, मुझे एक दो बार मैंने नोटिस किया, पता नहीं फिर तो ये इनविजिबल हो सकता है, वो देखना वो क्या क्या एबिलिटीज है इसमें।
Players in this game, TAG once again brought back the teammates into the game once more as well. GD gonna launch themselves
ये देखो ये दोनों जंप करके जोन चले गए, वो दोनों चेस कर रहे थे, ये दोनों जोन में चले, हवा में मार दिया, हवा में मार दिया ब्रो, अब ये देख तुरंत रिकॉल हो गए फाल्कन वाले, नहीं ईवोस वाले थे, सॉरी ईवोस वाले अब फाल्कन वाले को मार दिया, खत्म है, 1 सेकंड में रिवाइव है, 1 सेकंड, अगर तेरे पास वो पावर है ना तो, वरना 3-4 सेकंड में रिवाइव है, ये क्या बात हुई, हमारे में 10-10 सेकंड लग जाते हैं लोगों को रिवाइव करने में, रिवाइव करते करते खत्म हो जाती है, रिकॉल से अपन हाँ 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 व्हाट अ मैच भाई, फाल्कन्स वाले ले जाएंगे मुझे लग रहा है, ईवोस मस्त करती है, 1v2 है, अकेला बंदा कवर दे रहा है, क्या कवर दे रहा है, फाल्कन्स वाले ले जाएंगे, सीधे देख रिकॉल दे दिया, शायद रिकॉल दे रहा है पर वो आ जाता है, जंप शॉट दे दिया, जंप शॉट, ये वेंडिंग मशीन है, ये रही ना, ये वहां से रिकॉल कर सकते हैं, फाल्कन वाले ने सारे रिकॉल करते हैं, देखना अब जोन से फाल्कन्स मस्त करती है, 2024 की विनर थी फाल्कन्स, ये देख टीएजी के पीछे पड़ गई, फाल्कन्स और टीएजी का फाइट होने पक्का है, फाल्कन्स और टीएजी की फाइट होने पक्का है, वो तो 100% श्योर है, अगर फ्री फायर है तो टीएजी वर्सेस फाल्कन होगा ही, लास्ट में 3 बार हुआ, 3 बार,
Benel just waiting for the right timing here, just pop up his hit, steal away.
इनफाइनाइट रिकॉल है क्या? मतलब अगर 3 बार 4 बार जितनी बार रिकॉल होना उतनी बार हो सकते हैं, देखना पड़ेगा, भाई कितनी फाइट्स होती है वापस रिवाइव हो जाते हैं,
Can the reigning defending champions find that full recovery for themselves? TC on the other hand, quickly trying to play
लाउड का अकेला है, टीएजी देख वापस 4 बंदे हो गए, देखो आप
doing better than TEC at this point of time. Taking
मेरी
TEC
इस बार कौन ले जाएगा पता है,
give them a slight boost and it's definitely a fast
वो क्या नेड मारा, अब नीचे से जाएगा ऊपर, अब तक वो रिवाइव हो जाएगा क्योंकि उनके पास 1 सेकंड में रिवाइव है, देख अब रोटेशन चल रही है, चल जल्दी पे रोटेशन कर रहे हैं, जैसे वो कहीं जाते रहते हो, चल चल के रोटेशन समझ रहे हो, ये एक घर में स्टक हो गया, बीजीएमआई के साथ एक घर में स्टक हो गया तो खत्म मैच, इसमें अगर चारों साथ में हैं आपको ज़्यादा चांसेस है आप जीत जाओगे, तुरंत रिवाइव दे सकते हो, और शील्ड बना के सामने वाला कुछ ही करते रहो, भाई ये देख इसमें कोई गोली ही ना जाए कहीं से, शील्ड ही शील्ड है, ये देख उसने वहां से पर मार मस्त, किल फील्ड ये रही, हाँ टीवीसी वाले ने चली वहां से, वो ब्लू वाले मजे ले रहे हैं,
This guy is unstoppable on the revives.
लिनो ये ब्रांडिंग मस्त करते हैं, ड्रॉप का नाम दे दिया, फिर वो टीसी वेंडिंग मशीन का नाम दे दिया, ब्रांडिंग मस्त करते हैं, और राजा रही है चल के टीएजी के ऊपर, ये स्प्लिट देखो 1-1 और 2 का है, और ये दोनों ये हमारे वहाँ से ये स्प्लिट है, क्या हुआ, अरे बिग फैन बोला तो सही, मान सीधी बिग फैन बिग फैन आंसर दे तो हाँ आंसर,
Not too far of a jump, but it's okay. Gives a bit of space between them and the
ये
rest of
देखो
the teams.
सेंटर पे है,
Gun Dynasty, bloody impressive. So many times dodged it, so many times.
भाई ये
Losing
देखो
their players. but the recovery as well as the dominance with the mechanical plays have been unbelievable. They sure as hell are on fire and even literally out there right now within the lobby. Can they pick up more for themselves? 15 eliminations and still going with 3 players still alive.
Here comes the wait. Jonah putting a bit of space between him and the rest of the team. Gonna rush forward here. Aurora gonna take this fight, I think, head on against Buriram United. They're so aware that they're very close by. They're, I think, pressuring them with the nades as real. A lot of damage taken. Zeus is barely alive right now. The rush forward is good. Get high, does find Azrael here somewhere. And Wasana zones them away, chasing the rest of the team, but still not able to completely wipe them out of the map.
Yeah, big mistake there from the Malaysian squad, trickling in one after the other up against your world champs. That's just not going to work out.
चारों अरोरा पे जाएंगे देखना लाउड वर्सेस अरोरा हो रहा है और अरोरा को पता है इधर बंदे वो एक के पीछे एक खड़े फिर भी बच जाएंगे वो जंप क्या मारा ये देख वन शॉट दे दिया वन शॉट ब्रो ये क्या है मेला ये देखो दूसरा कवर दे रहा था मैं समझाता हूँ दूसरा कवर दे रहा था वो फाल्कन को जोन में जाना है फाल्कन एच पे देख सो टीएजी वन हाँ टीएजी वन तो मैंने जहाँ जो राउंड किया वो एज वाला ही जोन बनाया
pressure and the rotations are got to be very, very intense. Falcons does have a bit of a zone control to play with, but we are seeing GD come close.
It's Thailand versus Latam.
और Falcon versus Loud versus GD. Falcon versus GD होगा और Loud मेरे ले जाएगी. मुझे ऐसा लगता
Gun Dynasty on that high ground. This can turn into a disadvantage. What is a massive advantage for them right now with a bird's eye view?
GD को दे दिया. नहीं दिया GD कहाँ चली? अच्छा ये है फाइट हो रही है ऊपर नीचे खड़े ऊपर नीचे खड़े हैं देखो ना ब्रू वाले लाउड पे जा रहे हैं और बुया ब्रू का थर्ड बुया है और उसने 2 मैच में बुया ले दिया तो ब्रू मुझे लग रहा है लाउड और ब्रू की फाइट हो जाएगी और इधर फाल्कन और जीडी की होगी दोनों में से कैसे खड़े हो देखो ना सीधे वो बना के पर टीएजी अभी जस्ट गई ये देखो ब्रू वाले निकल गए कितना जल्दी निकल गए वो देखो ये मस्त होते भाई अब वो जाके सेंटर ले लिया अब ये लाउड और ये तीनों की फाइट होती क्या मस्त डिसीजन लेते हैं ये लोग देखना किस क्या मस्त लोकेशन ले ली जगह ले ली अब ये दोनों की फाइट होनी क्या करें ये देखो हो गए लाउड और जीडी उतर के बाहर अब ये यहाँ जो भी फाल्कन या जो भी बाहर यहाँ से जीतेगी फाल्कन देखो वो ये देखो आगे नजर लेना तो फाल्कन के 4 बंदे जिंदा है वो मेन है GTA 6 खेलेंगे GTA 6 खेलेंगे और GTA RP भी मुझे करना है GTA 6 और GTA RP दोनों करते लाइक करो गाइस लाइक करो GTA 6 खेलेंगे PUBG PC का भी मुझे स्ट्रीम करना है PUBG मोबाइल पे स्ट्रीम करनी है सब कुछ करेंगे प्लान है सब सब्सक्राइब कर दो सब प्लान है तो देखो ब्रू का थर्ड बुया होगा क्या ब्रू मुझे लग रहा है थर्ड बुया करने जा रही है ये देखो ना लाउड और फाल्कन्स और ये अगर कैजुअलिटी नहीं हुए तो मजा आएगा फॉर रिकॉर्डिंग ये देखो शील्ड बना दिया शील्ड पे शील्ड बना रहा है शील्ड पे शील्ड बना रहा है देखो ना दिया उसको पता ही नहीं शील्ड चली गई है 2-3 लाउड फाल्कन क्या खेल रही है ब्रो अब ब्रू वर्सेस फाल्कन है भाई मस्त 4v4 हो गया प्रॉपर ये देख ओ भाई ब्रू मस्त खेल रही है किसका बुया ले जाएगी शाम 1v1 में दोनों गए फाल्कन ओ देख ब्रू मैंने बोला ब्रू ले जाएगी भाई थर्ड चिकन डिनर ले गई थर्ड बुया सोच क्या मस्त है टीम दोनों सीट ब्लू चाह रही है फाइनल्स, लाउड चाह रही है। फिर कौन सी टीम देखते हैं, दो तो फाइनल पक्का जा रही। मेरी टीम जाएगी ब्रो वन डे, खुद की ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बनाएंगे और उसको भेजेंगे। सब प्लान है ये। अभी तो हम हमारी टीम इंडिया को सपोर्ट करते हैं, जैसे ड्यूएल, टीएजी, टीजी। फिर वन डे हम भी पूरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बनाएंगे, जाएंगे। अभी तो ये ईडब्ल्यूसी को 3 साल हो गए, वो भी चलेंगे बहुत। क्या पता फ्यूचर में हम खुद एक टूर्नामेंट ऑर्गेनाइज करें और इन सबको हमारे टूर्नामेंट में आए, बहुत कुछ हो सकता है। You guys don't know. You guys don't know क्या हो सकता है। हम ईडब्ल्यूसी जैसा टूर्नामेंट ऑर्गेनाइज करें, क्या पता लोगों को वो टूर्नामेंट में पार्ट लेने के लिए बहुत सारे फॉर्म्स भरने पड़े, कुछ भी हो सकता है। कुछ भी हो सकता है गाइस। You are not ready for this. कुछ भी हो सकता है। मुझे लगा इस साल ईडब्ल्यूसी में मेरे टीम पर लाएगा, तो इस साल मैंने रजिस्टर नहीं किया था, वरना तो ये साल हमारी ही ट्रॉफी थी। ये ईडब्ल्यूसी वाले बहुत टीम तो भाग जाती वहां से कि चलो अब मुझे जाना है। मैवक्स की टीम आ गई, अब मैं नहीं भाग गया, ऐसा बोल के भाग जाते हैं। फाल्कन्स वो सब तो रहेंगे, वो सब तो रहेंगे, और दूसरी जो टीम्स है वो सारी भाग जाते हैं। मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है सब लोग डर के भाग। अगर मेरी टीम आ गई तो एंट्री ट्रिगर एमवीपी बनेगा ना, हमारा एंट्री ट्रिगर एमवीपी बनेगा ना। तो सिर्फ आईजीएल है ब्रो, आईजीएल डायरेक्शन दिखा, एग्जीक्यूट करना एंट्री ट्रिगर का काम है। तो भाई ट्रॉफी नहीं आएगी बॉटम होगी। अरे हम टॉप पे रहेंगे, बाकी सारे टीम्स बॉटम में रहे। ये देख 6-7-6-1 कर, ये देखो ना 6-7-6-1 कर रहा है। प्रिंस कह रहा है बिग प्रिंस है, प्रिंस को बोलो शाउट आउट टू प्रिंस। ट्रॉफी आएगी घर इंडिया, समझा? ट्रॉफी आएगी घर इंडिया में। या ये सोहम जैसा इंटरव्यू करो, तू चील जैसा सपोर्ट प्लेयर, मैं आईजीएल मिहिर second entry trigger, Smith second entry trigger, that was बहुत बड़ी team.
And we got Wasana from Buriram team here. Let's talk with him some very interesting.
इसलिए मैंने रजिस्टर नहीं किया, टीम देख के भाग जाते लोग।
As well as we expected, as the audience
टीम देखते ही लोग भाग जाते हैं, वरना अगर मैंने रजिस्टर किया होता तो लोग टीम देख के भाग जाते। इसलिए रजिस्टर नहीं किया। फिर सारी टीम सारी गेम्स में हमारी टीम 5-6 सेम प्लेयर्स
ค่อนข้างออกไปในทางด้านของน่าผิดหวังอะฮะไม่ว่าในเรื่อง
कैसे चलेगा?
แล้วก็ทั้งตัวผู้เล่นเองแล้วก็
ट्रॉफी कितनी ट्रॉफी
มันมี
बची?
ผลต่อ performance ของเราในปีนี้บ้างยังไงบ้าง
ये पहले ईयर में हम लोग के
performance ของเราในปี
10 ट्रॉफी ले ली।
2025ครับผมมันค่อนข้าง
एग्जाम वाले ईडब्ल्यूसी को लग के ले ली। सोचो सारी ट्रॉफी हमारे घर आ रही है। 26 गेम्स है, 26 के 26 ट्रॉफी है, और तेरे घर आ रहे 22 करोड़ नहीं कितने मिलियन है? 22 करोड़ नहीं भूल गया, उतने करोड़ रुपए का सारी ट्रॉफी।
แล้วก็ในตัวทีมบุรีรัมย์เนี่ยฮะค่อนข้างออกไปทางน่าผิดหวังนะฮะ
हाँ इसीलिए मुझे नहीं पता, दूसरों की बारी भी तो आनी चाहिए ना। वो बोल रहे सबको पहले चांस देते हैं, फिर आप अगर आप आए तो आपका ही है सब कुछ, मतलब सब ट्रॉफी आप ही ले जाने वाले, तो अभी दूसरे को चांस देते हैं
ใช่เหมือนแบบเป็น
आप अभी मैच देखो सारे
ช่วงที่แบบ
सबके
มันน่าผิดหวัง
इसीलिए मुझे नहीं बुलाया वरना मुझे ही बुलाने वाले थे
underperformance below our standard, but with that failure,
मैं ही जाने वाला था
we
उधर
study through it, and we think that
पर दूसरों को भी चांस मिलना चाहिए ना
failure, that's what made it to EWC 2026
सोचो अगर हमारे ये सारी टीम उधर पहुंच जाती पेरिस में पहले तो पेरिस वाले पास ये क्या ये कौन आ वो एफिल टावर घर ले आते
Now, Wasana, I want you to talk us through match number 5 when your team was in a 1v1
पेरिस से इधर आ जाता इंडिया में पहले ट्रॉफी बाद में आती पहले वो आता
in this lobby. How did that make you guys feel?
ก็อยากสอบถามในที่5นะครับในเกมที่5ใน
ट्रॉफी बाद में आती पहले वो
แข่ง
एफिल
1
टावर आती
กับตัว AGL นะฮะตอนนั้นมีอะไรเข้ามาในหัวบ้างครับ
ก็แบบว่ามันไหลมาทั้งเกมแล้วครับพอเจอไฟนั้นต่อให้แบบเราจะเสียเปรียบตอนเหลือ 4-3 แล้วก็ มุมมันดีกว่าด้วยตอนนั้นไม่ได้คิดอะไรเลยเพราะว่าในทีมมันแบบใจมันกำลังมากันทุกคน
प्रिंस को बोल मुझे इसमें फ्री फायर मैच सिखा है अगर वो देख रहा है तो उसे कुछ पता हो तो बताए मुझे ये कहीं पे सील्ड बना देते हैं कहीं भी रिकॉल हो जाता है क्या सीन है ये सब क्या है
Listen, for us to finish, I'm very curious to know about the teams that have threatened you this today, because we have like top 5 teams in Group A that are doing very well, and I want to know
फ्री फायर खेलनी पड़ेगी
a threat for Buriram.
अच्छी गेम है
ก็ในผลของการแข่งขันวันนี้นะค
पर
รับ
BGMI से
ต
अच्छी
อน
तो
นี้เนี่ยก็ค่อนข้างออกผลออกมาค่อนข้างแบบว่า
BGMI से बेटर नहीं है
คิดว่าในท็อป 5 เนี่ยฮะทีมไหนเป็นทีมที่ค่อนข้างน่ากลัวที่สุดใน
นานครับ
สำหรับผมทีมไทยน่ากลัวหมดทุกทีมครับ
6 मैचेस खत्म हो गए अब
ทุกรายการ
सिर्फ
เลยสำหรับผม
रिजल्ट्स की बारी है
Every single Thai team in
पर
this tournament is like one of the scariest
प्रिंस
teams.
भाई
So
देख
I
रहे
would
हैं
say
आप
like
मुझे
every
पता है
Thai
वो
teams.
ใช่
Only Thai?
เราด้วยครับ
कल एसएटीएल के मैच है भाई ग्रुप बी में
Well, I mean,
एसएटीएल और डी शायद सेम ग्रुप में
exceptional day today, but of course, you
I
know,
know the
we're
IGL
united,
मेरे दो
and we are here with
जोन
Sana,
प्रेडिक्शंस
and
है
you have showcased
सेकंड और थर्ड मैच में
brilliance
मस्त था
throughout this
प्रॉपर
entire
एग्जिट
match,
राउंड
and
किया ना
I
वही
feel
जोन
like other teams should be scared. You should not be scared of any Brazil teams at this moment.
से थोड़ी
you know, especially loud. I know
इससे
it's
थोड़ी
gonna be
आईजीएल
after
बनेगा
this one, but congratulations again on today's performance.
इससे थोड़ी
and
आईजीएल
especially in that last match where you've just completely taken over, you know, the top of the leaderboard there. But
चलो
I
फिर
think, you know, we're going to
शायद
get
मैचेस
things
तो
up and
खत्म हो
running.
गए
We're going to take a
ग्रुप को
short
देख
little
लेते हैं फिर भी
moment and of course be back with some more exciting Free Fire.
शायद टीएजी 2 मिनट शेड्यूल कहाँ गया ईडब्ल्यूसी का मानो भाई टीएजी को सपोर्ट करो बहुत शुक्रिया टीएजी को सपोर्ट है मेरा जब टीम इंडिया से बाहर जब लोग खेलने जाएंगे तो वो सारी टीम को सपोर्ट इंडिया के अंदर से टीओ को ही सपोर्ट कर टीएजी को सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं उसके लिए रिस्पेक्ट है पर सपोर्ट तो ऐसे टीओ को ही करेंगे भाई थकवा क्या कूद करता है यूट्यूब का वो कोलैबोरेशन लेके आ गया सोच जिसमें लोगों ने स्टार्ट किया था करियर बनाना उसको ही पार्टनर बना दिया अगवा है अगवा ब्रो रुक टाइम क्या है इसमें ये लोग बोल रहे हैं 11:30 तक चलेंगे तो 11:30 तक तो मुझे नहीं लग रहा ये चलना है
I do agree. I mean, it's at some point, even in Southeast Asia, Buriram doesn't show up this much in the first day. But I think the failure they have, and it was mentioned in the interview as well, they failed so many times before, and they don't want to risk it. They just want to bring the numbers. So that's the 3 out of 6 and a back-to-back to boot.
in time शायद क्या होता पेरिस का टाइम लिखा है
I think, you know,
Indian time means वो 152 point bro भाई 3 बोया निकाल जरूरी है बुरियम यूनाइटेड 4 PM
how to win from the day 2 onwards, but maybe because we only have 2 days of group stage, they decide to come in, you know, nitro charge, kicking the
3 बजे
and
स्टार्ट
just take
होगा
over the lobby, which
3
is
तो बजे 3
brings
से
me
7
back to BRU back in 2022 at their prime, where every single round
भाई
they are always
ये
going all out.
सोच ये 4 है ना 4 किसको नहीं बताओ बीजीआईएस ने शेड्यूल को देख लिया जो इको आ गया था उनको देखना ना कहा फिनिश किए वो तो क्या हुआ पता है वो बीजीआईएस जीत गए बीएमपीएस में इगो नहीं बोल सकते वो क्या बोलते हैं कि अगर कोई मैच जीते ना तो उसको ऐसा लगने लगता है लोगों को कि वो दूसरे को मार देंगे जिससे मेरी एग्जाम बस चली जाती है फिर मैं दूसरे एग्जाम में सोच लेता हूँ कि निकाल लेंगे और मैं निकाल लेता पर वो लोग नहीं निकालते उनको लगा वो निकाल लेंगे पर वो लोग नहीं निकाल पाए कोई होता है प्लेयर्स से
How are we feeling about this squad?
I don't know. I mean, for loud stickers, I think they have the numbers. They brought
वो
the
होता है
consistency.
थोड़ा
They can get what 3, if not 4 out of 6 games that they can get in top 12.
लाउड सर्वाइवल में चली गई फाल्कन सर्वाइवल में चली गई ईगोस और एजीएल आ गई ग्रैंड फाइनल्स ये चारों पूरा ग्रैंड फाइनल्स खेलेंगे बाकी सारे 5 से 10 ये यहाँ तक ओ अपेक्स सर्वाइवल में आ गई है गाइस ये सर्वाइवल खेलेंगे कल से ये बोल रहे थे कि आप यूज लो हमसे इसलिए एपेक्स आ गई है ये दोनों एलिमिनेट हो जाएगी
Right now, I think they're gonna have to start changing their mentality from going directly to the grand finals to now just wanting to go to survival.
वो तरह जब वो AWC में स्लॉट मिल जाएगा ना तब 17 Pro Max पक्का है सबको 17 Pro Max दूंगा मेरे जो ड्रीमर शॉट है ना उसको मैंने गिव अवे करना है मुझे अभी नहीं और इट्स टू अर्ली अगर अभी से मैं गिव अवे कर दूंगा वेट करना भी जरूरी है ना एक एक कीमत होती है अभी से दे दूंगा तो अच्छा नहीं लगेगा सही बात है कि नहीं टाइम लगता है सब चीज के लिए आप लोगों ने लाइक नहीं किया यार बड़ा इश्यू है यार एक करना सब लाइक करो
what Buriram was able to do.
Yeah, but I think, for a lot of EVO's fans, this is considered better than what we've seen in the past almost 1 full year since 2025. After they won Riyadh,
वो कर सकते हैं
the slump, they went through a lot
वो
of
कर
challenges.
सकते हैं अगर कोई
Talking during the interviews that they are just
रिक्वायरमेंट ये है कि आपको पहले खेलने आना चाहिए गेम
not expecting EVOs to do it that well.
BGMI सीख लो
Maybe to finish a top 6 and then maybe tomorrow they turn it up, but to finish in 4th place and have consistent booyahs, or at least getting
इतने बड़े यूट्यूबर हैं आप रोयल पास की वो कर दो बड़ा मैं तब होगा अभी तो छोटे यूट्यूबर हैं अभी मैं जब मेरा 10 के सब्सक्राइबर होगा ना तब पक्का गिव होगा 10 के सब्सक्राइबर तो भी मुझे डेली सपोर्ट करने आता होगा इसको मैं दिखता रहूँगा उसको मैं पक्का दे दूँगा 10 के सब्सक्राइबर होने पे 100% है नहीं देना है मुझे
One team with 2 booyahs and another one with 1. I mean, you need to find a way to get those booyahs.
अभी हम निकल रहे हैं
not getting
5
booyahs.
minutes
We're looking at Gun Dynasty as well as AGAL. I mean, no booyahs, no problem for the moment, for this stage. Because they have been consistent in getting all those eliminations, especially with Gun Dynasty. They have been proactive every time.
मिलते बाद में रुको जरा भाई ने बहन का रोस्ट कर दिया है अभी बेटा कर जाता उसको तो मैं ऐसे ही दे दूँ उसको क्या है चलो मिलते हैं
I think even coming into this, right, the meta has shifted more towards prioritizing sniper players. We've seen Skyler and Morse being
कल वापस आएंगे ऐसे ट्वेल्व के मैच से कल प्रिंस को रॉयल पास चाहिए अच्छा प्रिंस को बोलो पहले पढ़ ले प्रिंस के पास प्रिंस को अगर 90% आ गए 90 छोड़ो 85% आ गए तो रॉयल पास पक्का है प्रिंस के अगर 85% आ गए ना तो रॉयल पास पक्का है पर उसको आना है है चाहिए 85% हेड जरूरी है टीम्स के
on the second series that's going to be coming up. Make sure you stay tuned. We're currently just wrapping up here Group Series 1, which was none other than Group A.
ग्रुप बी में सिटी और टोटल गेमिंग दोनों हैं तो कल आएंगे
Talk about maybe Falcons being
आए सेम टाइम पे चलो बाय